Afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of Alberta. PlayAlberta.ca, of course, it's another Thursday, another chance for you to get the daily grand, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Get your ticket. You know what? The odds are actually better on those ones. It's pretty good. It's like the secret little good winner. $7.3 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor. He is Connor Halley, and we are. The regular season officially ends tonight. Of course, the Oilers wrapped up their regular season last night with a shutout. Connor McDavid gets his 100th point. 8th time in his career. Ty Emberson's like, hey, Matthias Ekholm's not going to be here. I'm going to start scoring. Okay, I'm being a little facetious, but all of a sudden, Emberson, 2 goals in the last 4 games? Goal and an assist, his first multi-point game. Max Jones scores his first goal as an Oiler. Oilers score another empty netter. Not bad at all for Edmonton. I think the most important thing was they didn't give up a lot. Their defensive game is the one thing they wanted to focus on and tighten up, and that's what they've done here down the stretch for the most part. And now the real games begin. You got some time. You got all Easter weekend to hang out, relax. Now you can watch some other games, which I'm sure you will, but the Oilers, just like last year. So if you are one of those ultra superstitious people, you should be doing cartwheels. Hey, you know what? You know when the Oilers began their run to the playoffs last year? The Monday after the first weekend of the playoffs. And that's exactly what they'll do again this season. The Oilers will take on the Kings every second day starting Monday. Monday, Wednesday in LA, Friday, Sunday in Edmonton. The following Tuesday, LA back on May 1st in Edmonton, and then Saturday, May 3rd, if necessary, will go in Los Angeles. The first 3 games are all going to start. Well, the broadcast starts at 8 o'clock. We all know that's closer to 8:15, maybe as late as 8:22, depending. But good news, Oiler fans. That's earlier than last year. Last year, you had a few 8:52 puck drops. Now, you still might get those in the second round if they get there. So, we'll see. But game 4 in Edmonton will actually be 7:30 broadcast, closer to about 7:45, 7:50-ish, depending on who's carrying that game. It's usually when it's on TNT that it's a little bit later, so that's a benefit for Oiler fans who are going to the games or watching the games. So there you have it. The Oilers, honestly, for me, for a team that's banged up, a little extra rest, not a bad thing at all. And then they'll get into it. The NHL playoffs will begin across the league on Saturday. Only 2 games. Interesting games, though. Blues in Winnipeg to take on the Jets and the Avalanche. And what about the Dallas Stars? Did you see Jason Robertson? Dude, he got caught admiring his pass if you didn't see it. And, man, he got walloped by big Michael McCarron. And it was reported that he was seen vacating the building with a brace on his knee. Not good. Not good at all if you're a Dallas fan. Emma Lingen was the one who said she noticed him leaving the National rink with a brace on his right knee. Ouch. That could be a devastating blow for the Dallas Stars because Jason Robertson has been one of the hottest goal scorers the last few months. Ever since he didn't make the roster for Team USA when they announced the roster back in, I think it was early December. He was on a tear, scored 33 goals since then. He has 15 goals, 29 points since 4 Nations. And now he's out. Miro Heiskanen, we're not sure if he's going to be ready to play. Oof. Man, that could be the difference, honestly, in a tight series. And now you got no Robertson. You got no Heiskanen. I'm not going to say no chance, but their chances become diminished for sure. Then we'll have 3 series start on Sunday, the Devils and the Hurricanes. Collectively, is that the least interesting series of the 8? You can look at Tampa, Florida. You're like, all right, the 2 teams who have represented the East the last 5 years in the Cup. That's an interesting series. You got Toronto and Ottawa. No brainer. The Battle of Ontario. Oilers Kings, 4th year in a row. Colorado Dallas, epic. Heck, the Jets and the Blues. People like, are the Jets, going to be a lot better than they were last year in the first round when they got spanked? Minnesota Vegas. Like, Vegas is like, they finished 3rd in the NHL in points, and we're not really talking about them. How good is Vegas? And then there's Washington. Hey, you got the Ovi and the Habs. The Habs are in. Everybody's going crazy. And then there's Carolina, New Jersey, and you're like, okay, like, I don't know. Like, it's I can't watch every game of the playoffs. I'm sure you can't either. You have to pick and choose. But, man, I know it's a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock our time. So maybe, the younger generation, you might be doing the one-man luge on the couch, so you might watch it. But to me, that's a game that's the perfect Sunday afternoon sports nap game. You get on the couch, all great intentions. Yeah, I'm going to watch the game. You get comfortable. Maybe you got your favorite blanket, and then you're out. You probably don't even get through the first 15 minutes. Maybe you wake up for the third. But that, to me, is a nap-inducing game. Then you got the Sens and the Leafs. That'll perk you up. And then the late game, the Wild and the Golden Knights. Now, as I mentioned earlier about the start times, to me, I think this is a win. 8 o'clock, 7:30 broadcast times. That's earlier than we've seen before. And I'm just going to say this. No fan base can complain because everything's relative. You'd be like, I don't like these 8 o'clock starts and the weekdays suck. Okay. Now close your eyes. Imagine if I came to you and said, Paul, Sarah, Rose, John, whatever your name is. You know when the order game is going to start? Your time. How about game 1 is going to be a 9 p.m. broadcast start time? 9:15 puck drop. And you're going to be like, pardon? What? I'm guessing you won't be happy. Then, just to up the ante, I'm going to tell you that game 2, this is in your time zone, is going to start at 10 o'clock broadcast time, 10:15. I'm not talking to Oiler fans who are in Eastern Canada. I'm talking in your home state, in your home province. Because that's what happens to the Minnesota Wild for their first 2 games. Sunday night's game starts at 10 Eastern. Well, not starts, broadcast. So that's 9 Central. Then they play Tuesday night in Vegas. That game, broadcast time start is 10 p.m. What the bleep? I could see why you'd be irritated if you're a Wild fan. And here's the part that it's wild to me. They're starting the Devils and the Hurricanes at 6 p.m. Eastern. Then they're starting the Sens and the Maple Leafs at 7:30 Eastern. And then they're starting Florida and Tampa at 8:30. And then they're not going to start the Wild Golden Knights game until the last of those 3 games is done. What? So the late game on Tuesday night is an 11 p.m. Eastern time zone start. You're clearly not worried about the Eastern fans. What the hell are you doing? Oh, my goodness. So trust me, Oiler fans, you can be irked, but you got nothing. Nothing on the Wild. 9 and 10 local time in Minnesota when games 1 and 2 start. Oh, yowzer. That is a brutal kick in the nards, man. Brutal. So there you go. Coming up on the show today, Spec will be by hour number 1. Also, Colin Livingston. We switch things around. Livingston and Owens are going to switch today. We got Bernstein. We will talk a lot of LA Kings. Dennis, no one better tapped into the Kings than the DB man. TR will be by. We got Dave McCarthy, Craig Button, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We'll run that today because tomorrow we are off for Good Friday. We'll get your text in our EWEL inbox, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The Edmonton Oilers, all we know for sure is that the Oilers will be starting Monday. We know that Matthias Ekholm, without question, will not, I repeat, not be in the line. He's not going to play in the series. The other players, the majority of them should be ready. Now, Trent Frederick, not sure. And heard a little bit of rumblings that maybe a defenseman, maybe, not named Ekholm. So we'll see. Obviously, the Oilers today is day off. They will practice tomorrow, and then they will have practice Friday and a rock and roll Saturday, Sunday, and then the game on Monday night. And we are off and running. So I fully expect Evander Kane to be in the lineup for game 1. I'm not sure you can take anything else from last night's game. You know, they're healthy. Great. You know, San Jose, they've lost 11 in a row, man. Like they're playing out this string. They're like, God, get me out of here. Season's over. And honestly, like Stuart Skinner was solid, but the defense in front of, and if the Oilers play like that, that's what I've said all along. I don't believe Stuart Skinner is an elite goalie yet. Now, he can have elite games. We've seen it. He can have bad games too. You give him a good environment, Stuart Skinner's more than capable of giving, and you saw it last year in the playoffs. You might choose to not remember it, but you saw it. He had way more good games than bad games. And that's what they're going to need. So, hey guys, is it known exactly what Ekholm's dealing with from Craig? Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's a groin. And it's just unfortunate. There's not much you can do. Hey, Gregor, I'm surprised there's no 2-day cap coming back to Edmonton. I thought that was some kind of NHLPA rule. Clausen, no, it's not. Then there's series would take forever. LA to Edmonton isn't that far of a trip, right? You don't need an extra day's travel for that. So no, that's never been a thing. There's a few series that have an extra day in between, but a lot of that has to do with scheduling and arena availability more than anything else. But LA and Edmonton start Monday, and it's every second day right through. I looked, there are no back-to-back games scheduled. There was a typo if you go to the NHL website on the Colorado-Dallas series where it looked like it said a Friday, Saturday, but the game is actually Thursday, May 1st, even though it says Friday. It says Friday, May 1st. It's obviously Thursday, May 1st. So if any Avs fans or Stars fans are like, what the hell? We're going Dallas into Colorado back-to-back nights? No. It was just a typo. So it's probably fixed by now. Also, in the sporting world, the NBA playoffs, or I guess we should say play-in, went on. Dallas over Sacramento. Also, Declan Kruger's Miami Heat, big win over the Bulls. So the Bulls and Sacramento are out. And now we have tomorrow the final games. Miami and Atlanta, Dallas and Memphis, and whoever wins those two games will be the 8th seed when the NBA playoffs begin. And they will begin on Saturday with a few games. Then rock and roll. Saturday, you got the Bucks and the Pacers, the Clippers and the Nuggets, the Pistons and the Knicks, Timberwolves, and the Lakers. And like you kind of look at their schedule and you're like, what's the NHL doing? Why don't they start a little bit earlier? But they're not. 2:14. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to Mark Spector and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice April 25th to 27th. Don't miss the Champions Luncheon on Friday, April 25th at the Edmonton Convention Center. Tables are on sale now. This year's event is hosted by accomplished sports journalist and author Scott Morrison and features the legendary locker room tales of Mike Keenan. Iron Mike grew from a highly respected NHL player to one of the most passionate coaches in hockey history. For more information or to purchase your Champions Luncheon table, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
Metal Supermarkets is locally owned, locally operated. They love this city and serving its people. We're talking metal cut to your exact specifications, fast. In fact, at Metal Supermarkets, they're as Edmontonian as checking your basement sump pump in the spring. And, oh no, not good. But on the bright side, I do need to work on my backstroke. And don't even get me started on my butterfly. Count on the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
The My Choice sales event is back at Nissan. Get our best-selling Rogue, ready for adventures with plenty of room for cargo and crew. Right now, choose select 2025 Rogue models with $1,500 in Nissan bonus or accessory credit, or choose 3-year prepaid maintenance. The choice is yours with My Choice. Hurry in. These offers won't last long. Head to your local Nissan dealer today. Available in leasing or financing through NCF. Conditions apply. See nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today, because it's time to be the man you remember.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, yeah. Woo, we got a long weekend. We got playoffs. Oh, life is pretty good. Life is pretty good. You know what we could use? How about some overnight showers? Get everything greened right up for golf season. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. Welcome back. Thursday edition of the Gregor Show, Sports 1440. Also coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, another chance for you to qualify for the $15,000 solar package in your home, courtesy of Action Electrical, in our Here Come the Sun contest. So be Sure to tune in for that. Let's get to the Spec Report now, brought to you by GS Construction. They specialize in underground infrastructure, but more importantly, like you, huge Oiler fans, their focus is on the Oilers. Wishing them the best of luck in the playoffs from GS Construction as we welcome in Mark Spector, who is, I guess, halfway to San Jose or Los Angeles. Spec, how you doing?
Doing awesome, man. I'm sitting in the Seattle airport. So, yeah, halfway to San Jose. That's where we're going, right? I am going to the right city.
I hope so. Well, so the Oilers, originally, when they left, talking to the players, they thought if the series started Monday, they were going to come home. But obviously, they've changed their plans on that, and now they're just going to stay.
Yeah, I think there was so much, as of yesterday afternoon, there was so much uncertainty. You know, like they didn't know when they were playing. They didn't know what game they were going to get. They didn't know if they should come home. They didn't know if they were staying there. And I think at some point, someone in the organization just said, forget it. We're staying. You know, we'll stay in San Jose. We'll go to LA. Now, they were going to go to LA on Saturday. I don't know if that changed at all. Now that they're not playing until Monday, maybe they go in Sunday morning. I don't even know that. I haven't checked. Do you know?
To be honest, I haven't looked into that. But it would, like, to me, you know, is there any rush to get to LA? Like,
no,
it's such a short trip, right? You could skate, go in there on Sunday. You know, San Jose's got that new facility where the Barracuda play. I'm guessing that's where the Oilers are going to be practicing. It's a hell of a facility. Like, it's great. So,
there's like 5 rinks there now, apparently. So, the ice is easier to get in San Jose, probably. The other thing is when you practice in LA, you're practicing in the Kings facility, which means they're overlooking their, you know, executive offices are looking right down on your practice. I mean, they could be filming it if they want. So, you know, I suggest this isn't exactly like football where they close practices, but I think I'd rather be in San Jose than in the Kings facility if I'm Chris Knobloch, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably. Now, Connor McDavid gets his 100th point. You know, good. I thought the bigger thing was, you know, Stuart Skinner's come back in now 2 games. He's just looked really solid. He's looked composed. He's looked calm in goal, and team in front of him has played solid. And, you know, I think that's really here down the stretch. The one blessing in disguise, Spec, for me, for all the injuries for the Oilers, I think it really had to sharpen up their defensive game. And their defensive game is pretty good here the last 10.
It has been. The key word you used there was composed.
Did I say composed instead of composed?
Composed.
Nice.
Well, it's a good word. It kind of mixes 2 words together. It saves time, Jason.
Yes. I like it. I'll have to use that from now on.
Composed. It's composed.
Composed.
And I'm getting that in my copy as soon as I can.
Yeah, let's use it.
You know, like, I guess there's 2 sides. They allowed 18 shots against Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg's lineup wasn't any good, and they allowed 18 against San Jose, and San Jose's lineup, you know, is never any good. But you can't blame the Oilers for who the other team sends out, right? They really limited chances. I thought yesterday for sure Skinner was solid. Like, he was trapping pucks. There weren't any rebounds. You know, he was catching pucks. He was stopping play when he had to. He was just very, very good. So yes, that's you know, let's see what happens when he faces more than 18 shots, when there's some second opportunities, when the other team's a lot better, and that's what's about to happen here. But you're right, the defensive game, listen, they went 7-3 down the stretch, and when you think about it, you know, they had more injuries than anybody's had here. 7-3 with the kind of injuries they had, that's pretty good hockey no matter who the other teams put over the boards.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like, and so now they're going to get guys healthy, Spec. I keep talking to people, and I think, you know, the forwards, Frederick's obviously the one who's the question mark. We know Ekholm's out, right? I've heard some whispers. I'll be curious at practice tomorrow. You know, guys like, you know, is the defense core, everybody there? That's kind of what I'm interested in. But to me, the forwards will be fine. You know, I look at Edmonton's defense. Without Ekholm, their game 1 defense from this series compared to last year will be quite different. And that's really what it's going to come down to. To me, Jake Wallman becomes a huge part of the piece. But so does Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse is going to play a ton. Evan Bouchard played great last year, so, you know, he's got to play the same. But to me, Darnell Nurse, who didn't have a great playoffs last year, but he did have a very good playoffs against LA in 2022 and 2023. And he's going to have to be a huge part of the Oilers' success on the back end starting Monday.
Yeah, and he's going to need, you know, they've had a lot of bad luck. If I said this the other day, if the bad luck continues, then you can only go so far if everyone's getting hurt all the time. Let's face it. Darnell Nurse has had he plays so hard in so many minutes. He always has injuries in the playoffs, or he has had injuries, and he plays through them. But it does take a toll. So part of Darnell Nurse's thing is, if he can stay healthy, I mean, he's really been like, when the season started, Jay, we all would have said, who's your best defender on the Oilers? Well, it's obviously Ekholm. Now that this season's over, who was their best defender during the season? I'm pretty sure it was Darnell Nurse.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Darnell Nurse. So he'll take that in the playoffs. He's confident. He's playing great. Knock wood. His health looks good. And, I mean, you're right. Guys have to step up. Like Wallman has to be good in the playoffs. Your guys that, like, one of Stetcher or Emberson wasn't even supposed to be playing in your top six. Well, they're both going to be in your top six, and you need them to play. You need them to produce, and you need them in a month, we need to be saying, man, Emberson and Stetcher are playing better than we thought they'd play. Because if we're saying the opposite, we might not be talking hockey in a month here.
Yeah. When you look at, Corey Perry and what he's done in the regular season, Spec, and it's really been remarkable. Right now, last night's an empty netter, but I don't care. He finishes with 19 goals.
Yep.
He had the most goals for any player playing less than 12 minutes a night in the NHL. So he's great production and limited minutes. The game gets a lot faster in the playoffs. What's your expectations for Perry in the playoffs?
Well, not that much ice time, but I guess you make the point. He doesn't get that much ice time anyway, right? I think that, like, now we're back into the kind of hockey where you're going to go to three lines quicker than you were at the last 15 games of the season. There's going to be nights when he doesn't play much. Then there's going to be nights when, if, like, let's see how long they go, you get a bit of a lead and you want to play defensive hockey. He can do that for you, right? He can, you can trust him defensively. So, I think, what do we call that? A situational player. Depending on the score, that's how we're going to figure out Corey Perry's ice time. But I got a lot of time for Corey Perry on this team. I got a lot of time for a guy who knows, his experience, his gamesmanship. I'm sure he's awesome in the dressing room. He's certainly proven he can produce. No one's arguing that anymore. So I'm not sure he's, we were talking the other day about guys coming out of the lineup, when, let's say, a Frederick comes back. I'm not telling you Corey Perry plays every single game of the playoffs for me, but I don't lose Corey Perry. He doesn't sit out for 5-6 games in a row, not in my team.
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, let's look at some of the other series. In the West, you got Colorado and Dallas. I don't know if you saw the Jason Robertson play last night. He kind of got walloped by McCarron, and he's left in a knee brace. Man, that'd be huge. Yeah. Huge blow for the Stars. And the Stars have lost 7 in a row heading into the playoffs.
I know. They're a mess, man. Like, I go back to that Rantanen game. Everyone remembers the game in Edmonton where Rantanen caught Skinner and he gave him that concussion. That was a game where Edmonton didn't have a very good lineup to start with, and then Draisaitl or Skinner left. And the point is, Edmonton lost a close game to Dallas, and Pete DeBoer after the game said, we were not very good, and Edmonton deserved to win. They were the better team. He was very, very unhappy with his team. That was like 3 weeks ago. And they haven't been any good since. They're letting in 5-6 a night. They've lost 7 in a row. Now the injury bug's getting them. I don't know when the defenseman come on, fill me in.
Heiskanen.
I wanted to call him Hackenpaw, and I knew I had the wrong guy. Heiskanen. I don't know when Heiskanen comes back. I don't think it's the first round. They're in trouble, and they got a Colorado team that's really good. So I'll tell you what, I haven't done my picks yet, but that for me, like, that should be a toss-up of a series. But I got to pick Colorado in that series. What about you?
Well, you know what? 2 weeks ago, I'm like, ooh, this is a coin flip. This is really tight. But now with the injuries, Robertson, Heiskanen, just how Dallas is playing, I'm taking Colorado in 6.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would be. You know who else hasn't been any good since I've been watching, like, the last 3-4 weeks? Ottinger has been dead average.
Oh, very average. Yes.
And we all know that he's one of the top goalies in the league. So if he's not good, I mean, listen, find me a team that's going to win when their A goalie isn't any good. I give you the Winnipeg Jets last year in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how they played. Hellebuck wasn't any good, and they lost, and they lost quick. I don't like Ottinger's game coming in. I don't like the Stars game coming in. Like, I'm not saying they can't beat Colorado, but they got to turn a whole bunch of ships around awful fast down there if they're gonna.
Oh yeah, like Ottinger, you look, they've lost 7 in a row. He's started 4 of those games. He has a 0.873 save percentage and a 4.63 goals against. And Casey DeSmith's identical. He's 0.872. Like, you're not going to win many games when both your goalies' save percentage is 0.873, but and their goals against is over 4.5. But you watch some of their chances they're giving up. Like, their defense has just been horrific.
No, it's not. Like, it's funny. Like, that's a team that's been to consecutive Western Conference Finals, and everyone. We're not going to debate if they're a good team, Jay. They're a wicked good team. Everyone looks at Dallas every year and says, I wonder if they'll win the Central this year. So they're very good, and they got lots of good players, but it's not going very good down there right now. And, what do they say? The bullets start flying for real here on Sunday night or Saturday night for those guys. They can't be dragging a lot of confidence into this series against Colorado, man.
No, not at all. Vegas and Minnesota. What do you think?
I don't know. How many games did Kaprizov get in?
He got in 3.
Got in 3? How'd he look? I didn't see any of them.
You know what? He looked better as the games went on, for sure. Right?
Okay.
He is, Matt Boldy's looked really good. Eriksson Ek, like the first game, Eriksson Ek came back. He was unreal. He had the 4 point.
4 goals, and then he scored a big goal the other night too.
Yeah.
Eriksson Ek he's money. Like, he's money. He's such a good player, man.
And Kaprizov got in 4 games, not 3, my bad. And he played the first night he played. Now, the first night was a blowout, so he only played 19. But the last 3 games, he's averaged 24 minutes. Like, they're playing him a lot. So the coach thinks he's in shape. He's averaging over 24 minutes a game. They needed to win, and I think that was a precursor. If the Wild are going to upset Vegas, they're going to need Kaprizov to really kind of dominate.
I don't think they can. I think Vegas is too good. I mean, I got a ton of respect for Vegas. They're so big and so good, and they're really deep, and their depth players are good players. Like, their 4th line every year is big, and also hard to score against, and they even get a couple on you. I like Vegas a lot. I mean, if we're going to have this hopefully we're going to have a conversation about, if Edmonton gets through LA, how are they going to stack up against Vegas? And I'm not sure where I'm going to come out on that conversation, man. Vegas is a pretty good hockey team right now.
Oh yeah, no, Vegas is good. Edmonton played very well against them this year, and they matched up well. They always do.
They always do.
So.
They always do. They play well in Vegas every year, man. I've been to so many games down there that either the Oilers win or they just play it right down to the wire. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not even, what's your pick in Edmonton, LA? Who are you picking?
Oh, I'm taking Edmonton. McDavid and Draisaitl healthy with the skill they have on their team. I got a whole piece coming out here later. I've been looking at the past, and then I'm looking at this year. I'm looking at all the same everything, and I know they got Darcy Kemper, and sure, but Edmonton for long stretches this year was one of the better defensive teams. Now they also for stretches were one of the worst. I totally get it, but to me, they were very good defensively last year. I think they're a team that knows how to win now, and they can beat LA in a low-scoring game because Edmonton is not uncomfortable anymore in low-scoring games, and that's why I think they beat him, because you can play low-scoring, and then one shift, McDavid or Draisaitl can change the game, and that's why I give the advantage to them.
Yeah, I've thought this through a lot. I mean, I hate making picks with a lack of information. I'd hate to see make my pick Edmonton, and game 1 starts and 5 different guys aren't playing that I thought was going to play.
Right.
Because if you're telling me they don't get Stetcher or Wallman or Hyman or Kane, I might not pick Edmonton, frankly. But either way, I go to the school that says I don't like the way the Kings play. I don't like defense teams that want to beat you 2-1. I've spent 35 years in this business railing against that kind of hockey.
Yep.
So the Oilers play, anyone out there want to call me a homer, I'll stand on my record. I'm not a homer. I like teams that play hockey the way the Oilers play it. I like teams that try to push the offense, whose best players are offensive players. So out of principle, I pick the Oilers to win this series because I'll take an offensive, good offensive team over a good defensive team every day. And I don't think where did LA get better? They got better in stopping goals with Kemper, so they got better defensively. And they brought in who? Kuzmenko and Fogle. Fogle will help you a little. Kuzmenko scores, but I think he gives up more than he gets in a playoff series. So I don't think they can score enough to beat Edmonton.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's kind of what I feel the same way. So,
yeah.
Spec, fly safe. Get to San Jose. Enjoy. We'll find out tomorrow at practice. That might give us a little inclination on who's ready and maybe who's not ready. Because now maybe, if they don't practice tomorrow, but they practice Saturday, that's fine. But, man, if guys aren't on the ice Saturday, I'd be highly surprised they're going to be playing Monday.
Oh, I agree. What's our schedule on the station? Is tomorrow a dark day? Or what
tomorrow is a day off for you, Spec. Good Friday.
So we don't talk again until Monday.
That's right.
Well, I'm going to miss you, buddy. I'm going to miss you.
I know. It's, you'll get through it, Spec. You'll get through it. Just that picture in your wallet's a little creepy. You might want to lose it. But other than that, it's all good.
All right, man. Happy Easter.
Yeah, same to you. It's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, what do you think of the fact that Kuzmenko's never played in a playoff game? Was it any different than Jeff Skinner? Right? Both first-line left wingers to start the playoffs will be their playoff debut. Skinner, Kuzmenko. And the playoffs are a different beast. And we've seen lots of players, regardless of age, first time through that dance, it can be tough. Now, Skinner, we saw McDavid after the game. They gave the belt to Skinner. It's 1,078 games for Jeff Skinner. And that is a long time without playoffs. Obviously, it's the NHL record. Ron Hainsey was second at 907. There's a few active guys. Rasmus Ristolainen now owns it. He's at like 779, I think it is. But you know what? That's a long time for Jeff Skinner. I can't imagine how excited he will be. Now, you're going to say it's just another game? It's BS. And I really hope he doesn't say that. Why not just be honest? Dude, I've been waiting 12 years for this. Maybe even more, actually. That might be 14 for Skinner, now that I think about that. So, to me, he should be as honest as you can. This is something, you know what? This is why you play the games, right? You want to get to the playoffs. And you're Jeff Skinner. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in Carolina. No playoffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is his 15th season. Oh, my goodness. That is a lot of games. He's got 699 career points, 373 goals, and he's finally going to get a playoff debut. And you know what? After a tough start, Skinner ended up being a plus player, right? But he was like -10 early on the first month of the season, so he rebounded, and Skinner's been better. And now they're going to need him. And if he's going to stay on that top line, at some point you got to produce. It's just how it is. Because he's not a guy who's going to alter the game physically. That's fine. It's not his game. So you got to chip in. And I can imagine how jacked up he will be when he gets in the play. Wait till he scores his first goal. Because you see Skinner, like, he's a pretty emotional guy on the ice. I like it. Got to think that he's going to be very, very fired up. 2:39. Switch things up a little bit. We're going racing a little bit earlier. Next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New Jizz Nuggets. This is New Jizz Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of heating and cooling advice does Nuge have today?
You can save a lot of money by bundling your new furnace and AC with Legacy. It's kind of like saving money on an endorsement by bundling me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with someone like, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Thanks for suggesting me, Nuge. Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC and furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of New Jizz Nuggets.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference.
Yes!
FittedGolf.ca.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos Construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. The matchup is set, and it's time to lock in your round one seats for the Stanley Cup playoffs. All potential home games are on sale now at edmontonoilers.com/tickets. Get yours before they're gone.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Tremendous Thursday afternoon. Welcome back. Hey, don't tell me you're not excited, buddy. There's just something about the playoffs. Oh, you got WHL playoffs going on right now. If you're ever interested, you can watch them for free, all the games on Victory Plus. I'll tell you right now, you might want to tune in every now and then to watch the Medicine Hat Tigers. Young Gavin McKenna. Woo! Kid's pretty good. Pretty good. Somebody next year probably going to be very happy to draft him. I'm not going to use the G word because I think it's embarrassing. I think it's totally unfair for a player. I just think McKenna's going to be a very good player. How good? I don't know. But I think he'll be somebody 10 years into his career that you're saying, really good NHL player, which is great. Now, let's get to the racing report brought to you by Can Torque. They offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com. as we welcome in Colin Livingston joins us. Oh, big day for LCL. We had to move things around because you get in a new house. So you're going through the walkthrough. Now, is your attention to detail on the walkthrough of a house similar? Like, are you going to miss things? Like, you're not going to, like, there's all of a sudden, hey, everything's good here. And then you move in and suddenly you're like, oh, geez, I didn't put gas in my cart. Maybe I forgot that the dishwasher was connected. How's is someone else going to be monitoring your walkthrough?
I have some very good eyes with me with Amanda. She'll be nitpicking for sure. But I thought you were saying it's a really big day because I don't know if you remember the last thing we talked about, after the show last week and walking out, you asked me who my master's call was.
That's right. You did hit it.
And I said, I'm picking Rory. And I think at the time, like, he wasn't even close to in contention. Like, he was 5 shots back. Justin Rose was running away with it at that time. He was maybe even more than 5. And I told you, I always pick Rory because I know 1 year I'll be right. So I thought we were going to get to, heap some praise on that Super Bowl prediction.
Well, I know you're a big golf fan. That was quite the Sunday. Like, that was one of the, like, if we're just looking for pure entertainment value as a sports fan, that's that whole round really starts with, double bogey. You're like, oh my God. And it was just the whole round was up and down and he's leading by 4 and then he's losing. It's a 3-way tie. It was unreal theater.
For me, the Indy 500 is everything, but it really doesn't get any better than the Masters.
Yeah.
And candidly, I haven't watched the last bunch of years. I've been really turned off of golf, especially with the argument between the PGA and LIV and all these guys, who really have everything and they're arguing like they're peasants. Like, it's tough to watch. But really happy for Rory. It was really great. I was also really glad I am not a DeChambeau fan or a Patrick Reed fan. It wasn't great to see Reed moving up the leaderboard because there
is something about him. He's like
the most punchable face in all of golf.
It's funny you're going to say, I'm like, he is way more punchable than he is likable.
Oh.
There's just something about him. Like the fact is, remember when he won and he sat courtside at the NBA with his green jacket on? Like, I'm just like, come on, dude.
The thing about golf is that there is no room for cheating. And he's been caught and documented cheating on multiple occasions. And this is where I want to say all the bad words.
Yeah. Now let's get to Red Bull. They're definitely not cheating. That they might be cheating themselves right now. They're because everybody, Sonoda, but it's not just their second driver. They're having lots of issues right now with their whole vehicle. Like their communication system wasn't even seem to be working.
Yeah, they're in trouble. The issue they had during the pit stops last week, it was a technical issue. These things happen. It seemed like there was an electronic miscommunication between the system that monitors the wheel guns and the light system. It's, it's a 1 in a million thing that could happen. It should have probably manifested itself during practice, but for whatever reason, it happened during the race. So that made their day a lot more complicated. But the simple fact is that car is not easy to drive. Like, none of them are really easy to drive anymore. But Red Bull is really, really struggling. There was, Max Verstappen's manager went after their team advisor, Helmut Marko, and it was, they say it was very animated, which, again, this is what we like to call golf course language. Really, the manager was pretty upset that the team just seems to be moving in the wrong direction, and the car isn't really getting any better. The secondary thing is all these legal issues. This thing with Christian Horner isn't going away. It is now, back in the British courts, and it's actually in proper courts, not just being held, not being dealt with by one of Red Bull's own lawyers. This is now going to happen.
It's advanced past kangaroo court. Is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, and apparently now Red Bull, Christian Horner do not want this to go to trial, because then everything comes out. They're now finally ready to start negotiating a private settlement. But until that gets put away, these are the kinds of things, though, that really start to signify the end of a team's dominance. Like, obviously, they are nowhere near where they were in 2022, 2023. Last year was a much closer battle. Max has already won a race this year, so you can't say that, it's impossible.
Right.
But with everything that's going on, and the way that car is designed, that I think they're really in trouble.
Now, speaking of the way the car is designed, I watched a video, and I'll be honest, like I'm watching, I'm like, oh my God, like I know a little bit about racing, but they're explaining it. So can you explain in layman's terms what's the major issue with the Red Bull car in general right now?
So the way these new cars work, we talked about it a little bit last week, is that the original idea with these ground effect cars is that they suck to the ground more than they're pushed to the ground.
Right.
Which again, maybe sounds like the same thing, but it's really not. But over the last couple of years, the teams have started to develop all these aerodynamic adaptations that also create downforce in addition to the ground effect. And what's really happening is Max, he's who they design the car around his style. He likes a really, really, really positive front end, so that where he points the car, it just goes. The issue that they've got is that with all these aerodynamic pieces that are on the car, as they get into the braking zone, if the car gets too much on the nose, it can do what's called stalling, where you go beyond the maximum threshold of what these under trays can handle. You actually lose the ground effect, the sucking part of the car, which causes the front end to lose grip, and you've really got a handful, and then it kind of rebounds and it grabs again. So the car can theoretically be bouncing between front and rear grip at multiple parts of the same corner. Like it's a real handful.
So how do they fix it?
I don't know that they can, because the original concept of the car was designed by Adrian Newey. He's no longer part of that group.
Yeah.
So, they have obviously some very smart people, but not Adrian Newey smart. They'll obviously keep working at it, but their hands are largely tied because they've got a very antiquated wind tunnel at their disposal. Their wind tunnel was originally designed in the Second World War. It's a dinosaur. Their new one likely won't be ready to go until well into the 2026 season. So there's only so many things that they can do, but likely, you can't redesign your car mid-season, although Mercedes sure tried a couple of years ago when they went from their zero side pods to more conventional design. But this idea that once the car stalls, if it's not to the ideal height, you're really going to have issues. And this is what a lot of the drivers talk about, is when the car just gets, too low or not low enough. And we're talking about, in some cases, like a fraction of a millimeter makes all the difference. Ferrari's dealing with the same thing with Lewis right now, that for the first time in Lewis's career, the Ferrari uses engine braking to help slow the car down, where traditionally he's just been a braker. Like he just used the actual brakes. They use a different brand of brakes at Ferrari than they did at Mercedes. So his technique is totally different. And, I've gone through the same thing just from my limited experience driving go-karts. The kart that I drive, it's got 3 brakes on it. You don't use the engine at all. So when you get to the braking zone, you slam on the brakes the best of your ability. The kart gets on the nose. You hang on, get to the middle of the corner, unload the thing. As I've been driving the shifter more and more, you have to use the engine to slow the kart down to get the...
Right, okay. So it's like anybody out there, it's like the different, when you use your standard, right, you shift down. You don't just hit your brakes going in, you shift down, and it helps slow your car down same time.
The engine helps, and it changes the dynamic. So, yeah, it's, again, Lewis has, 1,000,000% more ability than I do, but he's also run the same way for 14 years, and trying to do it differently, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, him and Sainz both said that there's a little bit of muscle memory. They're on their new team, and the cars, and that's normal, right? It's going to take a while. Probably, I don't know how long it'll take them.
Well, the problem is they don't get a chance to test anymore. Like there's 3 days at the beginning of the season. Now they've got to use the practice sessions on the weekend to try and work on some of the adaptations, where the other teams are really purely focused on making the car better.
Now, switching over to IndyCar, the Long Beach Grand Prix, pretty good, but that there seem to be all sorts of tire issues with that alternate tire from Firestone. What happened there?
Firestone needs to take a look at how their two compounds are administered. So the way IndyCar and F1 are similar in that you have to run two compounds. Now, IndyCar only has two compounds where Formula One has three. So they have kind of what they call their hard tire, and then they have what they call their alternate tire. The alternate last weekend in Long Beach was truly only good for a single lap, even in qualifying. Drivers would go out on the tire, run a lap, but they'd maybe get held up in traffic or they didn't maximize the lap. They try their second lap and they were already falling off 0.3, 0.4 because the tire went away that quick. But they also had to run it in the race.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad. Newgarden, he ran it probably the best that he started the race from the back on that tire, pitted after 2 laps, then ran the rest of the race on the hard tire. The other drivers, like mid-race, they had to put it on at some point. Guys like Scott Dixon, he was stuck running that tire for, I think he was out there for almost 9-10 laps, which really killed his race. That's not the intent of what this strategy is supposed to be. Like the tire needs to last at least half as long as what the other compound does. Yeah. So, there were drivers who ran the hard for 30 laps. Hopefully Firestone takes a look at it because, where you're trying to figure out tire strategy, you actually need to be able to run on the damn tires.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one last one. Text comes in from Ryan. Colin's explanation about the Red Bull, does that have something? Is that why they're prone to oversteer at times?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really, really nose sensitive on the car. So as the way you do that is a couple different ways. They have a mechanical way of making sure that the front takes the load. But as the front is so dominant, if that front actually grips, if you try and apply the throttle before the wheels are straight, again, this is like a shifter cart technique, but if you've got any amount of steering in the car as you try and apply the throttle, you're absolutely going to lose the back end.
Awesome. Great stuff, my man. Really good. Have yourself a good walkthrough, and we will see you next Thursday.
You betcha, man. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Colin Livingston. Racing Report brought to you by Can Torque. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Bernstein will join us. We're going to go more in depth on the Los Angeles Kings because, hey, Oilers fans, playoffs are here. Now, for the next few weeks, you focus on one team. That's what's great about the playoffs, and that's why, in a way, like the regular season matters because it matters for your seeding. But like the Oilers played the Kings 4 times in regular season. Now you're going to play them potentially 4 to 7 times. Well, not potentially, guaranteed 4, up to 7 over the next 2 weeks. And you really focus in on a team. And that's where picking out what the other team does well, I think advanced scouting for your goalie coach. Like, look at last year. Look at what Schwartz picked out, especially on Shelovs and on Talbot, and they kind of lit him up. Like Shelovs late in that series. They just said, guys, high wristers from the point. Get traffic in front. He's not good at them. And they scored, 2-3 goals from there? So those little small details are what you look for. And when you have time now, you've got an extra day. Both teams, they're going to be zoning in. Okay, what do we do on Skinner? What do we do here on their penalty kill? Chris Knobloch admitted that when LA runs now the 5-man unit forwards on the power play, that it's very different. Now you got Kempe on the top. You know that Edmonton's going to be looking at 2 things. Okay, what is its tendencies? What do they like to do? But then secondly, when we get the puck, how can we exploit them? I think Edmonton's penalty kill, which was very good in the playoffs last year, it's almost impossible to be as good as they were last year. They only allowed 4 goals in 25 games, but they scored 3 shorties. But against the Kings early in this playoff series, and the Oilers' power play has been great the last 2 years. So we'll touch on that and something that the little game within the game and the advanced scouting and how it can benefit it. What are the Kings looking at? Because let's be honest, Kings haven't had any success against the Oilers in the playoffs for 3 years. Why is this year going to be different? We'll discuss that with Bernstein. We'll get to the Oilers report and more. But first, let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on now at GMC. Get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2024 Sierra HD models. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Final day of the regular season in the NHL. You got the Flyers, Sabres meeting in Buffalo. Leaf Coast the Wings. Hurricanes taking on the Sens. Rangers, Lightning, Caps, Penguins, Islanders in Columbus, and the Kings hosting the Calgary Flames. San Jose Sharks, a rookie phenom, Matson Celebrini, is committed to playing for Canada at the upcoming World Championships in May this season. The 18-year-old scored the most goals amongst first-year players with 25, trailing Canadians rookie Lane Hudson by 2 in the rookie point race. In the majors today, one game going on right now. Phillies beat the Giants 5-1 in the top of the fourth. Earlier today, Marlins fell to the Diamondbacks 6-4. Pirates over the Nationals 1-0. Mariners get past the Reds 11-7 in extras. And the Athletics blank the White Sox 8-0. Later tonight, you got the Rangers, Angels, Mets, Cards, Yankees taking on the Rays. Tigers host the Royals, and the Guardians head to Baltimore. Earlier today at the Women's World Hockey Championship, Canada gets past Japan 9-1. You also the Czechs over Switzerland 7-0. USA blanks Germany 3-0, and Finland gets past Sweden 3-2 in the WHL tonight. Medicine Hat looking to wrap up their series with the PA Raiders, leading 3-0. That gets going at 7 o'clock. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period. Take a look at the NHL playoffs and the LA Kings, and it's another edition of Thirsty Thursday with Sherbrooke Liquor. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
1440 orders Nate Jason Gregor Show.
They are all ready for
the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 orders Nate.
Ingredients that are beats.
Pre and post game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Life is pretty good.
When you care for or injured in a motor vehicle accident, please listen up. I'm Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and let me proudly say that we won't
on right now.
Your insurer tells you to go.
If you're ever interested,
because we don't sign agreements with the insurance company. We don't work for them. We work for you. We do
the $5,000 cash,
family, and other medically trained
cash purchase credit on 2024 Sierra HD models. See more.
Therapist, you should know that's not true. You have the right to choose where you go, and we hope you choose us. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta. DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
What's he gonna do? You gonna
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.306. Lovely Thursday for those who celebrate Holy Thursday for Catholics. Enjoy that. I think if I recall, there's a lot of incense on Holy Thursday. So, as I remember that from my youth, for sure. That's what I stand out more. So on the Holy Thursday, a lot of it, as well as Good Friday, but definitely on a Holy Thursday, I think. So, or maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Maybe it was Good Friday as a kid. I just remember the first time you smell that as a kid. Ooh, it's can get you. 307 Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. Gaming, casino, lotteries, you got it all. One-stop shop, and use the promo code Gregor100. That's Gregor100 when you make your next deposit. Get $100 bonus at PlayAlberta.ca. We have loads of text to get to, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. I talked about, like, when you look at the game in the game for the Edmonton Oilers, this is, and I've said it all along, I believe Edmonton comes into this series believing they can win. LA has to show they can win, and I do think there's a significant difference. You've played the same team 3 years in a row. Now, there's lots of different players, obviously, right? If you look at it, LA only has 5 guys who played in all 3 series. Because remember, in 2022, Drew Doughty didn't play. So they have Kopitar, Kempe, Deneau, Moore, and Anderson. The Oilers have 8 skaters who have been in all 3 series. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Kane, Nugent-Hopkins, and then Bouchard, Nurse, and Kulak. So really kind of their core. It's still there. Now, Arvidsson and Fogle are well aware of it. They played on the other side for 2 of those series. Right? Edmonton has a lot of guys who were in the series. Janmark's been around. Henrique was in the series last year. Who else in the Oilers roster? Now, remember, Connor Brown didn't play. He didn't play in the LA series last season. Came in against Vancouver. Obviously did very well. Corey Perry's played. So, there, you know what? But Jeff Skinner's new. Frederick, when he comes in, is going to be new. There's some new blood. The defense is where it's going to be new for the Oilers. Because if you look at their game 1 6 defensemen from last year, Ekholm, Ceci, Desharnais aren't there. Going to be replaced by Wallman, Emberson, and Stetcher. And if one of those guys, by chance, on the odd chance, although I think they'll be ready, Wallman and Stetcher, but if not, then it's going to be another one. So either way, there's going to be 3 new defensemen from game 1 last year, due to the injury to Ekholm and then the trade and Desharnais signing in Vancouver. So that's a pretty significant difference, right? I don't think we can debate that. It's now, how much will it impact it? I don't know. It's a fair question. You know, that there is definitely a lack of a loss in size from last year's decor to this year's decor. LA, will it matter? I don't know. So let's look at LA's team. So Kempe, Byfield, Doughty, Kopitar, Anderson, Fiala, Laferriere, Gavrikov, Moore, Deneau, Spence. They're the carryovers. So fair amount. Now Kemper's new. And this is the fourth different goalie. Jonathan Quick started 1 year. Korpisalo started 1 year. Then you had Cam Talbot. Dave Rittich played. He started twice. That was last season. They've had no success regardless of the goalie. So they'll trot out another one. Now, Darcy Kemper's numbers definitely have been the best of their goalies over the last few years. Now, does that mean it'll be the same success in the playoffs? We'll find out. I can't answer it. We got to see it. That's what makes it great. So, you look at Kemper, his 922 is easily the best, right? But like Cam Talbot had a pretty solid 914 in LA last year, and then they got bombed by the Oilers, like bombed. So I'm interested to see. Now, obviously, Stuart Skinner has been in there for the last 2 years for Edmonton. He's won both times. He's had some big games last year. Obviously, in Game 4, he had pitched a shutout. So we'll find out. I'm looking forward to it. I think the biggest question mark for Edmonton is how is the changes on defense going to impact them? And Jake Wallman, they need Jake Wallman to be a really solid top four. They don't need him to be their best defenseman. Honestly, Bouchard and Nurse are the guys who need to be their two best defensemen. They're the ones most capable of it. They're the ones that are going to need to do it. Now, Nurse, 2 of the last 3 years, he was their best defenseman in the series against LA. People probably forget in 2022, Nurse was outstanding. He was excellent in 23. Last year, had a little bit of a struggle. But this season, start to finish, he's been their most consistent defenseman. Evan Bouchard's game has started to ramp back up to what I like. A lot of people say Brett Kulak playoff guy, and I get it. But Evan Bouchard's last 2 postseasons have been really good. You might not like Evan Bouchard because he's a little too lackadaisical for you at times in the regular season, but you cannot argue what he's done the last 2 postseasons. You just can't. He's been that good, and he's going to have to continue that. And so when I look at the Kings, how are they going to attack that's that much different? So they have a different neutral zone, but that's it. Right? Kuzmenko and Fogle. Okay, so that's new. But how many other guys are really where you look and say, oh, geez, like this is a real big addition. This is going to be a big problem for Edmonton because of this player. Like an extra year of Byfield, okay. He offers something. I like Byfield a lot. If he was on my team, I'd be a fan of his. I like him. Big, can move. Very good. But if we look at and so I'm going back to Game 1. And again, Connor Brown didn't even play. Do you remember Game 1 last year, Connor Halley against the LA Kings?
Vaguely, yes.
See, it's funny. Connor McDavid had 5 points in Game 1 last year. 5. Right? Zach Hyman had a hat trick. The Oilers scored 7 goals. Right now, Fogle had an empty netter late in that game, so we could argue they scored 6. Right? And LA, Trevor Moore scored. It was 6-2, and then LA kind of scored 2 kind of man goals in the last 3 minutes to make it 6-4 and look a little bit better than it really was. Right, and remember, like there was what I think a total of 80 some shots in that Game 1. So we've seen, like, it's funny. You think, okay, it's going to be tight check. And then last year, like the first 3 games, and even the other year, Edmonton won 8-2, 6-0. Like, even though LA hasn't changed, they're a defense first team, but Edmonton's found ways to light them up. And then they've also found ways to win the 2-1, 2-0, 1-0 games. So for me, LA has to, and last year was the first year that Edmonton had success in Game 1s because everybody knows their track record in Game 1 hasn't been great. Now, this year, the biggest difference is they start in LA. And by the way, Edmonton, 6-2 in LA the last 3 years, 6-4 on home ice. The Oilers had the 6th best road record in the NHL this year. LA had the best home record. But LA also had the worst road record of any of the 8 playoff teams in the West. And the only playoff team with a worse road record, Carolina Hurricanes. Like Edmonton, home and away, basically the same team. Their record is not much different. I think they had 25 wins at home, 23 wins on the road. They've been pretty much the same team. LA is quite different. Right? They had almost double. They had 17 road wins. And if they win tonight, they could have 32 home wins. Because remember, their season ends tonight against Calgary Flames. I'm sure they're going to rest some guys. The game, I don't think it's going to be that intense. Calgary's obviously disappointed. They're not going to make the playoffs. So it's one of those games where you just want to get through, right? Like none of the games tonight mean anything in the standings. For some guys individually, sure, maybe get an extra goal or assist will help you in your career, but big picture, the game means nothing. And I don't have an answer. I've talked to a lot of guys. We'll go to LA here next. Like, why are the Kings so much better? Is it just an anomaly? Is it psychologically? Why are you the best home team in the NHL, but then you're like 20th on the road? And amongst the playoff teams, one of the worst. And Edmonton, I don't think, is intimidated playing in LA. As I said, 6-2. They don't mind it. Now, they haven't started there. But I look at Edmonton, and Connor McDavid's words really kind of caught my attention. You don't hear that from McDavid very often. He doesn't come in and kind of be like, hey, I'm a little bit tired of hearing this. And that's exactly what he was. And if you're an Oiler fan, that should get you excited. At least that's what I think. Cons, is there anything that you see as the major concern? Like what's the major concern for you going into the series?
I mean, I guess the only thing for me personally, and I've kind of been on this bandwagon for a while, like I really have a hard time betting against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl elevating their game. The only thing that's been the issue for the last little while would be injuries and health. And, if that's going to play a factor, but, the Oilers aren't going to use that. They're going to throw that out the window. Connor McDavid already says they're not the walking wounded, even if they've gone through this. That's really the only concern for me. You can tell me all you want how the LA Kings have gotten better. And I discussed it with Carey, as I know he's a big Byfield fan. I think we all are. Like, we think Quinn Byfield's going to be a heck of a player. But this year, he wasn't Connor McDavid. He wasn't Leon Draisaitl. Like, he's not that guy right now. So I just think for the Edmonton Oilers, the only thing I'm really worried about would be the injuries and getting guys back healthy and keeping that going throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Like Matthias Ekholm, it's a big loss. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It's going to be tough, but I think they got the horses that can step up and win this series. So it's not a huge concern, but that would be the one for me.
Like the injury issue is a concern for sure. Hey, Gregor, take off your rose-colored glasses. I'm pulling for the Oilers, but I don't think they're as good as last year. And I think LA's team is better. Bill. See, here's the thing, Bill. You can disagree with me without being a petulant child and having to do some lame insult. So let's start there, first of all. Second of all, when people say, oh, last year they had way more depth, I've outlined it. Last season, Fogle, McLeod, Holloway, who have been replaced this year by Arvidsson, Podkolzin, and Skinner. Do you know who has more goals? Arvidsson, Podkolzin, and Skinner. People are thinking Dylan Holloway this year and saying that was Dylan Holloway last year. That wasn't Dylan Holloway last year. It wasn't. So when you just look at production last year to this year, it's actually, granted, it's only 2 more goals, but they've scored more goals. Now, the defense without Ekholm, that's a valid concern. I totally would agree. Now, Jake Wallman, we don't know. Jake Wallman's a little bit of a wild card. But Darnell Nurse is playing better this year than he played last year. So that's an improvement. Edmonton's team defense, I believe. I actually think when they show they focus, which they did the last month, and then again they had the 2.5 months there from November to January, they were best team in the NHL. And they were top in a lot of defensive categories and offensive categories. They're capable of doing it. They lost their way for a while, which we've discussed on the show many times. I don't really buy into that Edmonton is so much worse than last year. I think people are concerned because of the injuries, okay. But I really don't think the team itself is much worse. It's a little bit different. And then there's wild cards. Evander Kane will be healthy this year. He wasn't healthy last year. He played, still scored 24 goals, and then added 4 in the playoffs on one leg. His timing might not be off, but he's going to be able to skate. He's going to be more effective physically, getting in on the forecheck, doing those things. To me, that'll be better. So, and McDavid is on record as saying, we'll be healthy. Because now look at Connor himself. He was hurt. He came back. Is he hurt anymore? I don't think so. Sure hasn't looked that way. He was flying. Came back and all he did was average 2.5 points a game. and really kind of took his foot off the pedal in the game in San Jose once he got his 100th point. You didn't really see him, really doing much. So how's Leon Draisaitl going to look? Because I think even Stuart Skinner talked about for him getting those few weeks off was just like a mental, I'm rehabbing stuff. Well, in his case, it was a concussion, so he's just kind of sitting out. And thankfully for him, he didn't have a serious concussion. But if you're Leon Draisaitl, and you've got, because even if, let's say, you got a sore groin, usually you might have a shoulder that's bugging you or an elbow. Now you get 2 weeks off. All those little things, they feel better. And when I look at LA, are they really that different? How are they better? Is Fogle that much better than Arvidsson? Remember that last year for LA, Arvidsson had 15 points in 18 games when he played. And remember, when they lost to the Oilers 2 years ago, Arvidsson had 7 points in the 6 games. Is Fogle going to get you 7 points in 6 games? I don't know. He never has. So why is LA better? I keep hearing it, but now does Kemper, do you believe, make him that much better? Okay, I can listen to that argument. But are they better offensively as a team? Truly. Because if you say the Oilers are older, well, Doughty's older, Kopitar's older, Deneau's older, it's the same thing. And the other thing, the Oilers, like Connor Brown didn't play last year in that series. He comes in, that adds some speed to their team. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see LA being that much better of a team. They had basically the exact same amount of points. Last year, they had the second best penalty kill in the NHL in the regular season. What happened in the playoffs? The Oilers' power play was 45%. So we'll talk to Dennis Bernstein. He sees the Kings way more than I do. So I am curious, if they're better, how much better? And ultimately, will their special teams be better? Because we go through the numbers on their special teams. That's what's murdered them every year. And remember, they were the second best penalty kill in the regular season. That's what makes it great. Once the playoffs come, you never know. They went from being the second best penalty kill over 82 games to getting lit up. 2 years in a row. 56% power play for Edmonton in 2023, 45% in 2024. I'm telling you right. And by the way, the Oilers' penalty kill was 100%. So can they improve special teams wise? And are they going to keep the 5 forwards? Hope they do. Just because I wonder if they do it and has success, will other teams do it? We'll find out. Dennis Bernstein joins us next in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rooter hits the link.
So I tell the guy, it's leaking because you have a hole-in-one.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you have a better chance of hitting the green with a crescent wrench, you bum.
Oh, boy. It's my rival, Mr. Plunger.
You swing a club like you plumb. Lousy.
Lousy, eh? Hey, Mr. Plunger, there's a clog down there that even you could fix.
For a plumber you can trust, call Mr. Rooter.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Need a golf cart that works as hard as it plays? The Golf Cart people can help. They offer a wide selection of new and used models, including Club Car. Whether you're after a lifted cart for the cabin or a sleek ride for the course, they'll help you find the right match. Add accessories or explore ready-to-go options available now. Trusted by Albertans since 1997. The Golf Cart People delivers quality and experience. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or the fairway your way.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2-4s for May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as it's our time to get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Stop in this Easter weekend. You can lease or finance a 2025 XE plug-in hybrid from 0.9% and save an additional $3,500, or get a XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Great vehicles, better service, Volvo Cars Edmonton. Longtime reporter for the Los Angeles Kings. I don't know. Are the Kings tired of seeing the Oilers? Who knows? But the LA traveling group will be here next week. Edmonton's traveling band makes their way to LA. That's the one major difference. For the first time in 4 seasons, the series will begin in LA, and the Kings are hoping that that'll be the difference for them. Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period joins us. And so, Dennis, I mean, I'm doing a rundown. I'm looking at all the different. Everybody tells me that this Kings, they're a very different team from last year. Like goals, obviously, I think Darcy Kemper gives them more secure than we had in Cam Talbot and even Korpisalo and probably even Jonathan Quick. But how about like the forwards and defense? Do you think noticeably different in your eyes?
All right. So any preconceived notion you had up at the Kings from last season, throw it out. Oilers 1-5. And you know what? They just didn't win. They bullied them.
No.
This team is not going to get bullied. Let me break it down for you, Jason. Okay? Darcy Kemper's way better than Cam Talbot. He's going to be one of the finalists for the Vezina. Okay? Fogle is better than Arvidsson. And I'm talking about all the replacements all the changes they made after they got their butts kicked in 5 games.
Okay.
The best, their toughest guy and best fighter last year was Andreas England, who's an 8th defenseman. This year it's Joel Edmondson, who's a plus 27. Last year, you guys faced the 4th line center was Blake Lizotte. He's 5'7" and 5'9" and 185. This year, it's Sammy Helenius. He's 6'6" and 205. Yeah. And their toughest guy on the right wing on the 4th line was Carl Grunstrom. This year, it was Tanner Jeannot. And if Tanner Jeannot doesn't play, Jeff Lamont is 6'5" and 200. And by the way, his brother's a UFC fighter. This is a better team. This is a bigger team. And this team isn't going to be scared of the Edmonton Oilers. So that's why it's a very different. And Jason, the last 21 games. So you can look at the statistics about, the power play. They're 17-4. This team, if not for Ovi's run to 895 and the Blues' 12-game winning streak, more people will be talking about the Kings. That's why they're confident. That's why I think they're a better team. And the key for the Oilers, it happens every season for the Kings against them. 2 years ago, it was Klim Kostin. Last year, it was Dylan Callaway. There's always an X factor for the Oilers, not the Stars, because Connor Leon went crazy and, I love Zach Hyman, and you're right about Evander coming back, which certainly will help them emotionally. There's always one guy who's an X factor that seems to pop up for the Oilers that produces when nobody thought they will. But going in, this is a very different team, right? And I had no problem picking the Oilers last 3 years. I'm not picking the Oilers this time around because I don't think they're better defensively. And I think pound for pound, let's put it to you this way. Which team has more 30 goals or 20 goal scorers? The Oilers or the Kings?
Well, the Kings got 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a deeper, better team because here's the thing. Last year, Quentin Byfield was a left winger. This year, he's a center who's driving play, right? And you're seeing the best of Kevin Fiala now. He's got 35 goals. Kempe's got 35 goals. They have 2 lines you always have to defend now. And then I didn't even mention Kuzmenko coming in. The power play is very different with Kuzmenko. Now, the thing is, you mentioned the penalty kill. I think that's the whole key to the series. They've changed their structure. Last year, it was a box. And Connor Leon murdered it. It was men against boys. Now they're going to a diamond and they're more aggressive. Will it work? I have no idea. You know what? How it's not going to work? The last 3 games, the Kings have taken 10 stick fouls, Jason. If they take 10 stick fouls in the first 3 games, it's going to be 3-0 Oilers. So they really have to play a disciplined game. But I think pound for pound, this is the best version of the Kings. This is the best shot they have at being the Oilers. And I think I say, if Connor and Leon get out of this round, I think it'll be their best performance against LA. Forget even last year, because I just don't believe in the surrounding cast they have this season.
When you look at their blue line, so Doughty, Anderson, Gavrikov, and Spence, they all played. They'll all play. You mentioned Edmondson will come in, and we're assuming Brandt Clark, like that's going to be their 6, right?
Correct. Yep. That'll be the 6 unless there's an injury. Correct.
Now, Doughty is on record as saying that, and he's not going to feel 100% until this summer. I always like Drew because he's pretty honest about everything. How concerned are you about his injury? Is it just he's hurt rather than injured, or is it something you're concerned about?
Yeah, he won't be 100% till next season. So you'll take 80, 85% because here's the thing. They don't give up a lot. So I don't need Drew to be, a Norris defending defender. Like he never was that player anyway. But again, Gavrikov's been their best defenseman this season. Because Gavrikov, when Drew went down, he had to go onto his offside. I mean, he's playing 24 minutes a night. He's the best, and you could argue he's even their MVP, even though it's really Darcy Kemper. But Gavrikov's been better. So I think it's another year of experience. The thing about Brandt Clark, he hasn't been that effective. He's been on the third pair, and I expect him to make, every other game, make some sort of great play, and he really hasn't done it. He's muted his offense because you know what? They, as you say, this is a defense-first team, Jason. So what do? They drilled the defensive part of the game into Brandt Clark. So maybe next season, once he gets his bearings fully with the playing defense for this system and this team and this coach, he might be more effective offensively. But I think as a group, it's a better group because Edmonton's way better than England. And yeah, Drew's going to be 80%, but I just think you're going to get the same from Mikey Anderson, and Gavrikov's really stepped up here. So I think as a group, it's a better group going into the series than last season.
Fair to say the Kings aren't going to have to play Doughty 27 minutes a night like they did last year.
Correct. Yeah. If they do that, there's something wrong. Then somebody got hurt or somebody's really ineffective. I don't think Drew could play 27 minutes, to be honest with you. He's been, as you say, he's been pretty transparent about it. And the fact that he's even saying like, I'm probably about 80, 85%. There's a couple of things that he can't do. It's not from a shape standpoint or conditioning standpoint. Just turning on that ankle, there's certain things that maybe extending he can't do that he could do before the injury. And it's probably going to take another few months for it to get back to 100%. So maybe by October. And you're right, he's not a youngster anymore. This is his 17th season. So to play him 24 minutes a night, if he could be affected at 24, I think the other group of 5 can be strong enough to support him playing about 3 minutes a night less than he has been.
Dennis Bernstein joins us. Dennis, the 5-man forward group on the power play for the Kings. I spoke to Chris Knobloch about it, and he said it's definitely a very different look with Kempe at the top.
Yes.
He's very mobile. He sees the ice very well. I'm a little surprised that it's him because he's such a good shooter from the flank. But why has he worked at the top so well?
Because he is a good defensive player. He's more responsible, and he's a more senior guy. Now, the other night in Seattle, he made a pinch. They went the other way and scored a shorthanded goal. Mm-hmm. So I would be careful about playing. It's one thing to play 5 men against Seattle and Colorado without McKinnon and McCarr and Drouin. it's a different thing to play 5 men against the Edmonton Oilers when Connor and Liam are playing shorthanded. There's risk involved, but it's been really good. They need production. Here's the thing, Jason. You got to take the good with the bad, right? There's going to be some risk involved, but the upside, their power play with Kuzmenko is way better. It's just way better, more confident. There's more movement. He's really shifty. He creates more holes. So they probably will use it. And I'm sure the first time there's a shorthanded goal, the next time the power play goes out, you're probably going to see 4-1.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of what I thought. Now, McDavid and Draisaitl don't kill a ton of penalties. People thought, hey, maybe they put him out the last 20, but it's more the other guys. Like I even saw it in that game against LA when the order forwards got it here, even though it was 5-0, it wasn't a close game, but because LA had 8 power plays. And after the first 2, every time Edmonton's forwards got the puck, they didn't just ice it. They tried to carry it up the ice just to see. Because let's be honest, these defensemen, if you're a 2-on-2, I would love that. How many times have you defended a 2-on-2? How are you going to defend the cross at the blue line? And most guys would be like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm just, so that's where you could maybe get them in trouble. Obviously, it's not like you score a ton shorthanded anyway. But the big one for the Kings is their penalty kill. You mentioned it's more aggressive. Last year was a little bit more static. But it's like last year they had the second best penalty kill in the league and then got murdered in the in 5 games. And the year before they got murdered even more at 56%. So how much do you think that's in the psyche of the Kings? Now, Kemper wasn't here, so he probably doesn't care. But what have you seen that's maybe different? And the last 2 games in April, unfortunately, the Oilers didn't have McDavid and Draisaitl, so we can't even comment on what happened on the power play. So how do you think, from what you've seen, what makes their penalty kill have a better chance to not get lit up?
Well, I think that it's younger play. Like last year, Trevor Lewis played a lot on the penalty kill. Now they're putting Kempe out there. Now you have, and not for another, you have Byfield out here who's 6'5", and his wing spread is probably about 7 foot tall. So I think they have bigger, more effective players, and I think their defense is more willing to block shots. I think the entire group as a whole blocks more shots, and I think there's more of a commitment there. But yeah, let's say the first game the Oilers get 2 power play goals. Like there's going to be PTSD about we can't beat the Oilers, we can't stop their power play. I think, and it always goes back to the fact that you do that. Well, guess what? You got 54 other minutes or 52 other minutes to win it 5-on-5. It may come down to that again. And that's why I think the Kings are way better, because the Kings, when Kuzmenko came in, they solidified their lines, Jason. A lot of times early in the season, he was going 11-7 Hiller because they couldn't find the right combination. That's why the offense struggles. So when you talk about the road record, they could never score on the road. They're a defensive first team. They go down 2-0 and they can't come back and rally. So I just think the fact that they have balance, and they actually have a shutdown line this year, Deneau, Moore, and Fogle are a shutdown line this year, and they have 2 scoring lines. So I think that even if they get clipped by the Oilers on the power play, I think there's enough balance offensively, seeing what I've seen in the last 20 games, to think that they could overcome that. So even if they lose the special team battles, which I expect they will lose, right? I can't expect with Connor Halley fully healthy, they're not going to have an advantage on the power play. But I think at 5-on-5, that's where I really think there might be a decisive edge for the Kings.
The home ice advantage. Edmonton the last 3 years, 6-4 at home, 6-2 on the road. They've had success in LA. The Kings this year, the best home team in the NHL. And amongst the West, the only playoff team that has a worse road record is Carolina. Yeah. Why so different for LA? Like we're talking like almost double the amount of wins at home to on the road. Like it doesn't make much sense because they don't play different. It's not all of a sudden like the coach is getting way better matchups. What have you seen? Is it just a confidence thing now when the Kings come home, they're just like, we just feel better?
You ask the team what it is, why the reasons are. They can't give you an answer. So if they can't give you an answer, how can we? What is it, the home crowd? No. I don't know what it is. I think it's an anomaly. I think that, again, they don't give up. Here's the thing. They don't give up much, Jason. So if they don't have to play a good first period, you know what the score is? Nothing. They're not down 2-0. Right. And they get to the second period, it's 1-1. They just don't give up a lot. And that's it. And it's fun. It's funny. I joke with our friends in the press box all the time. There's been a number of games where they haven't played well, and they never get punished for it. They either lose in overtime, get a point, or find a way to win. It is a confidence thing. A lot of it, I think, is you can't explain. And not for nothing, like you mentioned, and I'm going to bring this up, and Hiller probably won't love me for, in all the 3 prior series, at some point, the Kings had the home ice advantage because they split every time in Edmonton. So they had a best of 5 with 3 at home, and they never got the job done. So how big is home ice advantage? They've had it before. They haven't got it done. But again, I think if fans out there are going and thinking this is the same team for the last 2 series, because I think the first time around, and even Mikey Anderson said it last night when we were talking about going forward, he said, you know what, we thought we should have won that first year in 7 games, and they were up 3-2. They went and they kind of made a play late, and they wound up winning it. I'm discounting home ice because as soon as you lose a game, so you're telling me the Kings are going to run the table and win every single home game? Well, they almost did this year. And all 4 of the 5 games, Jason, our thing is they lost against non-playoff teams. They only lost 1 game in regulation at home to a playoff team, which is a really, really impressive run. I think some of it's confidence, some of it's a better team, and I think most of it you can't really explain.
And lastly, Dennis, so we look to matchups.
Yeah.
Kopitar, Byfield, maybe someone else. Who do you see matching up against McDavid's line? Who do you see matching up against Draisaitl's line on home ice?
I got to think it's Byfield and McDavid and Leon and Kopitar. I think the speed of Connor McDavid wouldn't, I think that would be a pure mismatch, right? Not that Kobe hasn't played and he hasn't played it before. I think makes the most sense right now. Now, that might switch if one guy obliterates the other and, you might switch it. But I think to start, I think that's what you see with respect to the matchup of the 2 top lines.
So it's going to be great. We got to wait a little bit longer, but that's all right. Yeah. We'll get to Monday. Just like last year, they started on the Monday after everybody else started on Saturday. And, we'll see. I'm hoping the animosity, I don't think it's going to take long to get some animosity.
No, especially after last week. No, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I'm excited to have the Edmonton crew down here, and it's going to be, I think, another epic series.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dennis. We'll see you soon, man.
Well, it's a pleasure, JD. Thanks for the time.
There you go. That's Dennis Bernstein from the 4th period. And I think the biggest change for Edmonton is on their blue line and their size. Wallman, Stetcher, Emberson are in. Ekholm, Desharnais, and Ceci are out. It's a pretty significant change. You can't overlook it. Nurse, that's why I said Nurse is going to have to be as good as he's been in the regular season. He can't have a playoffs like he had last year. Now, the good news is the first 2 years against LA, Nurse was excellent in both those series. It was fantastic, actually. So he's got to continue that. Brett Kulak, he's going to be called upon more. Jake Wallman's obviously the wild card. We've never seen Jake Wallman in the playoffs, so we don't know. Ty Emberson, first time in the playoffs for him. But hey, Emerson, good for him. He's, not that he's supposed to be a scorer, but you know what? His confidence should be high. He had a little bit of a dip in February and early March. Seems to have found his game again here down the stretch. So he's going to be key. It'll be fascinating to see how Paul Coffey runs the defense pairings. But I still take Kopitar, Byfield. It's still an advantage Edmonton because of McDavid and Draisaitl. And then the wingers. So, Nugent Hopkins line is going to be key. Right? They're going to have to produce. And, Edmonton's special teams, which has crushed LA, do that again, and they'll have a lot of success. I think the key for Edmonton is if you can get their penalty kill thinking, here we go again. Because in every series, Edmonton was 37%, 56%, 45%. 3-year span, 45% on the power play. It's ridiculous. In 18 games. If they can have some early success on the power play, that'll go a big way just to kind of put those seeds of doubt in the heads of the LA Kings. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. David Owens is next. We got TR, Dave McCarthy, Button, and more on the Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta sports and casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe. And Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash. So, Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, 3-4. That's an old school tune, buddy. It reminds me of my buddy Paul. That Paul could he could karaoke that song "Unbelievable," which is super hard because it's pretty quick. So I actually ran into Officer Paul at the Order game a few weeks ago. So it's funny that you play that song, Cons. Very weird. Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. The text line's fired up. I love it. The rivalry's back. What's Bernstein talking about? The Orders are going to kill him. Well, you should feel that way if you're an Order fan. Like, you should be like, hey, I think my team's going to win. As you should. That's good. Let's get to Thirsty Thursday. We switched it up. Usually it's 2:40, but we had to switch Colin and David today. So we get to Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. 2 locations, of course, the original on 118th and St. Albert Trail, and on the south side, southeast, I guess, on 50th Street and 92nd Avenue. David Owens joins us once again. Dave, how you doing?
I am doing all right.
I never asked. Is it David or Dave? Do you care?
I'm a David mostly.
More of a David. Okay.
More of a David.
All
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
David. Nice. Now, Yeah, today you brought in an ode to the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy winner, Leon Draisaitl. You brought in a boatload of German beers.
We are doing 4 German beers today. Not only are they great to celebrate our good man Leon, but it is that time of year, Easter, and these are all Bock style beers. And I know Stephen mentioned last week when you had the Doppelbock last week. It was one of your favorites, but the monks used to make these beers super high in alcohol to get them through Lent. And
so because they would fill up on that. They couldn't eat, but they could drink.
Couldn't eat, but they could drink their beers, right?
It's so funny because nowadays, how many people listening are like, I gave up alcohol for Lent? You're like, the monks did the opposite. They're like, let's consume more.
That's right. So this is how they got their bread, right? Yeast and barley and the grains and stuff. So so we've gone full on German here. This is great. Just a brief history of these beers too. So the Reinheitsgebot is the German purity law. And so this came into effect in 1516. And what it was to ensure that there was only 3 ingredients at that time, which was water, hops, and barley in the beer. They didn't know about yeast at that point in time. So that got added a little bit later. But it was all about keeping out shady ingredients, roots, herbs, or worse.
Imagine if we did that now to make people, they couldn't put all the junk that's in our food system. Just saying. It's in 1500s they did it, but here we are in 2025, and you'll let those food companies put anything. You can't even pronounce the garbage they put in our food. But nonetheless.
And so we've got this great thing. It protected, wheat and rye for bread back in those days.
Okay.
That's what wasn't for brewing. It standardized pricing across the board for beer and things like that, and it made it easier to monitor and also tax. So it really did a whole bunch of great things. And back in
the beer industry just sounds like they were the leaders of common sense,
right?
Yes,
that's right. Drink more beer.
I like it.
Right
so
on.
what are we doing first? We got a Maybach. Is it a Maybach or a Maybach?
We've got a Maybach here. This is Anger. So our first 3 beers are all Angers, one of the original German breweries out there. So this is a Maybach. It is, or a Springbok it's called. So this is 6.9% alcohol, but it is definitely lighter in color, but still packs a pretty good punch there.
Now that's a lager, correct?
These are all lagers, all based on a lager style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Germany.
Very Germany.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, you're getting that toasted malt, a little bit of light caramel, some floral hops in there.
Yep.
Nice clean finish. Nothing too complicated.
Yeah, like that's just like if you just want a traditional beer, I would say that's what you'd like. Now is it Einger? How do I say
Einger? Yeah.
Einger. Okay.
Yeah. You betcha. Yeah. So then we move on
and I got my water, so I rinse between.
I can rinse. It's good. I did not pack my water today, which is horrible.
Rookie.
But Einger Weizenbach Weizenbach.
Now, because Steven told me, I always put my hand behind it. So
That's
I feel
right.
like I'm very much a beer snob now.
Yeah,
My
you
hand
get better look
behind
at the color in there, right?
See the color of it. Yes,
See
looks
the color
very
in
different.
there. So this is Weizenbach. So it's a wheat box. So there were some adjustments to the laws later on that allowed wheat to get into some of these Bock beers in German. So this one, of course, wheat one, you get that real natural sort of bread.
See, I like that is very smooth. Sometimes wheat beers for me, I'm not the biggest wheat beer fan, if I'm being honest, but I actually quite like that one. That is very it doesn't seem like a wheat beer to me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And so it's the originals, they always get it right.
Right.
Everybody else is making wheat beers, they're all trying to catch up.
I do like the bottle. I like this. You know what? The shape of the bottle sometimes, I'm not going to lie.
Great packaging.
It can make a difference for you. All of a sudden, you're like, I want to have that kind of bottle in my hand.
That makes a difference off, beer, wine, spirits, anything. Yeah. If you like the packaging, you're probably going to like what's in the product. So
now next we have, I'm just going to say, I like the beer simply because this is what every team should have in sports. It's the Celebrator.
That's right. The original Doppelbock. So this beer has been being made for hundreds of years.
It's legitimately the original?
Legitimately the original. So there are all sort of imitators. So whenever you see another beer with the "ater" at the end of a name, they're paying homage to this beer right here.
So anything that has ATRON at the end of it, they're paying homage to the Celebrator. Okay.
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah, so this is the finest Bavarian Doppelbock. We're coming in here at about 6.7%, a little bit lighter than the last one, but you'll get full flavor out of this lager. Raisin, figs, toffee.
See, this to me, when I think of this is why I like ale beers. This tastes like an ale beer. It's very flavorful. So you guys have, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll be honest, because most of the lagers I tried weren't like this.
That's right.
This is it's like a dark ale, but the Celebrator, now that is good.
That's good beer.
If you like now, and I've told people a beer like this, it's kind of heavy. It feels a little bit heavier. Like it's kind of like a Guinness, because sometimes when you were younger, like I couldn't drink Guinness when I was 18. I was like, oh my God, it's like I'm eating a sandwich. And then now all of a sudden I have a Guinness. I'm like, God, it's super light. But this beer feels like it tastes heavier when I drink it. Yeah, but I like it. That's why I like ales.
Yeah, and this one, it's been warming up a little bit too, so it isn't fully, hasn't fully come straight out of the fridge. And that is
it better? Warm?
Better.
So
you're going to get way more flavor profile out of it when it warms up a little bit. So you'll see a lot of people drinking these kind of beers almost like in a snifter, right? So they can hold it in the palm of their hand.
Okay.
And the palm of their hand will slowly warm up the beer.
Yeah.
And you're going to get way more flavors profile out of it. And that goes with anything: beer, whiskey, wine.
So the warmer beer, because I'm like, I don't want warm beer. But certain beers you should now, obviously you don't want them hot.
No.
But you want them a little bit warmer, because then it's going to bring out the flavor.
Cellar temperature. So think cellar temperature, right? So you're like, you're 4 degrees, 5 degrees. So you're not freezing cold, ice cold.
Ooh, I like the Celebrator, buddy. I'm going to celebrate it right now.
And you have enough of these and you will be celebrating.
Oh yeah. You said 6.7?
This one's 6.7.
Jeez. Yeah. Pace yourself, boys and girls.
Right.
Pace yourself.
Now this one isn't quite as hefty as the Weizenbach you just had. It was 7.1. And the first one, the Maibach, which is the lightest flavor one we had so far, was 6.9.
So the Celebrator's got the least of it.
So far, it's got the least. Yeah, we're going to drop down alcohol again.
The Weizenbach was over 7%. God, it didn't taste like that at all.
Not at all.
Wow.
No.
See, that's deceptive.
And the nice thing about bottles this size,
like a Bacardi Limon and on the rocks, boys and girls, all of a sudden it just surprises you.
Oh, the Bacardi Limon, dude! Like, yeah,
buddy, it's
those are some days.
Oh God, they're so good. Oh man, I'd have to go see the Dr. Wang soon.
There you go.
I need an appointment. I got to get a freshen up.
You got to get an appointment to go see Wang. That's
I'll
right.
be there on Monday for the playoffs. So that'll be good.
Right on. Awesome. And then we're going back to the smoked beer. We had the smoked beer a couple weeks ago. This one's a little bit different though.
Holy cow, dude!
This one is also a Doppelbock, and this has been oak wood smoked.
Dude, that seriously, the smell of that, for people who like that smell, that's going to be a little bit euphoric for you. But like that smell, like that might smell more like a campfire than any beer we've ever had here.
That is for sure. It's more campfirey than the bacon smoked one for sure.
Ooh, yes, let's taste it.
Yeah. And so this is, the roast Doppelbock style, 6.5% campfire, smoked ham.
God, it's got a little bit of an aftertaste of smoky. Like, so if you like smoked stuff, like if you were a smoker, I'm thinking you would love this beer. Because I'm guessing I've never smoked other than one day in grade 6, didn't go very well. But I'm guessing if you're a smoker, you like the taste or smell of smoke.
Yeah, I think if you're a smoker, you're going to understand this for sure. But I would also say if you are a smoker of meats,
yes, that's actually yes,
you will also really enjoy this.
So would this go good with the smoke?
Absolutely, this thing would be great with an Easter ham or lamb or any wild game or things like that. So all these beers are great food pairings for your Easter meal this weekend.
Yeah. Well, my faves are the two middle ones today. The Celebrator for sure. And that Eininger, the Eininger Weizenbach, that wheat beer was really like, it doesn't taste weedy at all to me. The smoked one, now granted, I'm not a big smoke guy.
That's right.
But for people who do like it, you would, it will really surprise you. Like, I can't believe, like literally, I am smelling it right now and it's like I'm smelling a fire.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy how flavorful that is.
It's like you're out camping.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Sitting under the stars.
Yeah, it's just like I'm sitting there smelling my shirt. Oh, it smells like a fire. That's exactly what this beer smells like. And now that we're refined, any of our listeners out there, it's funny. We had Dave sent me a note with a picture of him smelling his beer with his mouth open. Because that was the tip we got from David. He said, because we used to, like idiots like myself, I would just smell the beer. I'm like, I don't smell anything. But then you open your mouth and you smell it. Well, now you really smell it. So try that the next time.
Yeah,
try that the next time. It does make a significant. Now you need a wider glass for sure. Can't do it in the bottle. You got to pour it into a glass.
Yeah, but it's really incredible how you can taste something just by smelling it.
Yes, I'd never known that before. Yeah. Like this. Ooh, that is smoky.
Super cool trick.
Yeah, that is a super cool trick.
Yeah, yeah.
Use it at your own accord, boys and girls.
Use it wisely.
Yeah. No.
Use it for good.
That might work in a lot of different situations in life too. So who knows?
That's right. There you have it. These are great beers for Easter.
So
Rolling into the playoffs here.
So if you come into Sherbrooke, ask for the Easter beers, the Celebrator.
The Celebrators, yeah. We got 4-packs being built at the store right now. So just go and ask.
So you're going to have the Easter 4-pack?
Yeah, just go and ask for the box, the Bach pack.
The Bach pack.
That's right.
Okay, I like that.
And they will, they're being put together as we speak right now. So they should be in top.
Nice. Well, we'll see. And feel free, once you have one, send me a note. I'm curious what you like. I'm the Celebrator and the Weizenbach for me. But I guarantee you a lot of people are going to like the uniqueness of the, I can't remember, how do I pronounce the last one?
That's the Shenkerla, the Ashton Kerla.
Shenkerla.
The Rote.
The big green one.
Or Rote beer. Yeah.
I like the presentation too. The bottle's sick.
Yeah. You know, the nice thing about these bottle sizes too, they're perfect for sharing with a friend. Right?
Yeah, because that's more than a beer. That's like a pint.
That's a full on. Yeah,
it's a big one
for sure.
Awesome. Well, Dave, now you're going on a trip to Europe.
I am off
just in time for the playoffs.
Just in time for the playoffs.
You really timed that one well.
Now the good news: last time I was in Europe during the playoffs, the Oilers eliminated the Calgary Flames. So I'm taking that as a good sign.
Now, when you're over there, do you watch the games?
You know, if I can, I try and
because you're 7 hours because they start late. Well, yeah, I guess that'd be 3 a.m. So it's a little tough.
It's a little tough, but
or it depends on the Friday nights. You're just still up. You're just coming back from the pint.
That's right. It's the first thing I'm doing when I get up in the morning, anyways. Is taking a look at that. So
yeah.
I got my account set up to be able to watch, and we'll be good to go. But in the meantime, if you're here in Edmonton and need to pick up some game day beers or whatever, come into the store on game days.
Yeah,
wearing your Oilers gear. Get 10% off just about anything in the store.
Really? 10% off on game days if you're wearing an Oilers jersey.
If you're wearing Oilers gear, hat, jersey, t-shirt, gotta be Oilers gear.
Gotta be Oilers, eh? So none of those stinking Kings jerseys.
None of those stinking King jerseys.
Okay.
No. But
now, quickly from JC, what is your best non-alcoholic craft beer for the weekend?
Ooh, best non-alcoholic craft beer for the weekend. There are some great non-alcs from a company called Mash Gang that are in both locations right now. Mash Gang, yeah.
Okay.
And
I had the non-alcoholic Guinness, and I'm blown away at how good
it's
it was.
so great.
Yeah.
But the Mash Gangs, go with the Mash Gangs. That you can get any sort of style you want. You can get from an IPA to lager style, and they're so good.
Okay, well there you go, JC. Stop in, David. Have a good trip and enjoy the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. So, Oiler fans going to Sherbrooke on game days, which would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday next week. Wear your Oilers gear, and you'll get 10% off. And for Easter, if you want the Bach 4-pack, just stop in and ask for the Bach 4-pack. Buddy, the Celebrator is unreal, and I really like the Weizenbach. If you like the smoky one, I'm not a smoke guy, but I think people who like smoke, like Connor Halley, he loves the smoke. Well, his mother was a smoker. His father was a smoker. He's a smoker. Loves the smoke. Let's get to the smoker, Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Mix it up with Booster Juice and their new Booster Mixers, the Zesty Berry Booster Mixer and the Bango Mango Booster Mixer, only at Booster Juice.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The last day of the regular season in the NHL tonight. Got the Sabres, Flyers, Red Wings in Toronto. Sens host the Canes. Lightning take on the Rangers. Caps and Penguins. Jackets host the Islanders and the Flames in Los Angeles. Malcolm Celebrini will be representing Canada at the upcoming World Championships in May. The 18-year-old led all first-year scorers in the NHL with 25 and trailed only Lane Hudson by points in the rookie race. In the majors tonight, you have the Orioles hosting the Guardians. Royals take on the Tigers. Rays, Yankees, Cardinals in New York taking on the Mets, and the Rangers host the Angels. One game going on right now. Phillies lead the Giants 5-3. Earlier today was the Diamondbacks over the Marlins 6-4. Nationals fall to the Pirates 1-0. In extras, the Mariners get past the Reds 11-7, and the Athletics blank the White Sox 8-0. WHL tonight, Gavin McKenna and the Medicine Hat Tigers can wrap up their series with PA in PA. That one gets going just after 7 o'clock. Tigers leading 3-0. The Edmonton Elks making some moves today, adding American defensive lineman Tamari Fox, American wide receiver Marshall Martin, and American offensive lineman Grant Smith and Mark Evans II. And at the World Women's Hockey Championship, Canada knocked off Japan 9-1. That means they'll meet Finland in the semifinals on Saturday. The host Czechs taking on the United States with the medal games going on Sunday. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Terry Ryan, Dave McCarthy of SiriusXM, and the last 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Spring, where everything is coming up roses, except for GS Construction. We're heading underground, and we couldn't be happier. Spring is always a busy time of year for everyone trying to get out there and do some work. Well, GS Construction agrees, and we also agree that we just might need some help. So if you're looking to work and join a group where safety, teamwork, and continuous improvement have been at our core since 1974,
Thursday,
send us a resume. Come work with us this spring. Visit gsconstruction.ca
We'll find out, Dennis
today.
Burns.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western
And
Canada.
Instagram,
with sports and
it's our-
entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospect Hockey League,
YouTube,
Silent
Facebook
Rides
connections
Charter
in the
Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the
that
Western
Paul
Hockey
could,
League's Seattle
he could
Thunderbirds
karaoke
and
that song
operates
on
the
the lead,
Morinville
which is super
AAA
hot.
Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
When you see big discounts on a vehicle, you think last year's model, right? Not at St. Albert Dodge. They are continuing to knock 10% off the sticker price of every single 2025 Ram 1500 truck on the lot. We're talking this year's model. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year with a hot new interior and drivetrain options with increased horsepower and better fuel economy. The 2025 Ram 1500, 10% off and over 100 to choose from. That's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Sexy Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Mr. Rooter hits the leak.
So I tell the guy it's leaking because you have a hole in one.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you have a better chance of hitting the green with
Going
a
to Sherbrooke
crescent
on
wrench,
game days, which would be
you
Monday,
boy.
Wednesday,
It's my
Friday,
rival,
Sunday
Mr.
next
Plunger.
week.
You swing
Where
a
your
club
order?
like you plumb. Lousy.
Lousy, eh? Hey, Mr. Plunger, there's a clog down there that even you could fix.
For a plumber you can trust, call Mr. Rooter.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Do we have TR? Is this Irene Cara? I think it is. Whew. Man, just think of remember the video? Like, remember the 80s? Now, obviously, we're dating ourselves here, but the some of the 80s videos, man. Now, granted, I don't watch videos today, so maybe today's videos are just as good. But they had some classics in the 80s. You know, they're all wearing like the tight kind of workout gear. Oof. Like Eric Pride's now that video, still one of my faves of all time. But that one with Irene Cara is pretty good, man. Pretty good. Welcome back. Thursday edition of the Gregor Show, Sports 1440. Maybe you're already done work. Maybe you're getting close. Long weekend. Good Friday tomorrow. Of course, some of you even get holiday Monday off, Easter Monday. Of course, it will be the start of the playoffs for the Oilers. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs will begin tomorrow. No, sorry, not tomorrow. Saturday. Feeling like it's Friday already because tomorrow we're off. But Saturday, 2 games, 3 games on Sunday, then 4 on Monday, including the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers aren't the last series to start. Florida and Tampa don't begin until Tuesday. So a little extra rest. That might be an advantage for Florida with Tkachuk and all the other ones. So, hey, Greg's, no one watches music videos anymore. Do the young, any of you young kids out there listening, 25 and under, do you watch the videos? Are they a thing still? They got to be, right? Got to be some good videos, isn't there? Swifties, doesn't she have good videos? I honestly can't tell. I've never watched one of her videos. I like some of her songs, don't get me wrong. I'm not like an anti-Swiftie. I've just never watched a video of hers. So, who knows if it was it's good. Hey, Gregor, what about Olivia Newton-John? Let's get physical. Well, that's another good one. Oh, yeah. There's got to be some today. Come on, boys and girls. There's got to be a few. Hey, Gregor, Tate McRae sports car video. Unreal. Well, there you go. See? I knew it. Is she a Canadian girl? Isn't she from Calgary? Cons?
She is, yeah. The guys here love her.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, do they like her videos?
I think they are big fans of the videos as well, yes.
Okay, well, that makes sense. All right. That makes sense. So it's a pre-positive Friday show. So today, now is a time for you to qualify for our Here Comes the Sun contest, where you could win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. That's everything included, all the installation, everything from Blake and everybody at Action Electrical. It's a fantastic prize. Now, there are a few stipulations, though, that you need. You need to be a homeowner. Obviously, you got to own your home so they can install it properly. You need to have your home within a 50K radius of Edmonton, east, north, south, west. Also, your shingles in an ideal world are 12 years or younger. If they're older, then they recommend replace them first, because if you put this on and then you got to replace it right away, well, that's going to cost you way more. So you don't want to do that. And then the final step is you'll just send in a paragraph to myself and Action Electrical. That puts you in the draw officially. But today you can get in. And so today we're just going to do it very easy because it's the playoffs. Okay. This is a very simple question. All of you are Oiler fans. So hopefully you will get this right. Okay. What is the Edmonton Oilers' combined record the last 3 years against the LA Kings? They've played 18 games. I'll give you the hint. They've won all 3 series. They're a best of 7. They won. You know what they won them in. Well, at least I hope you do. So the last 3 years, send your name and the combined record for the Oilers over the Kings the last 3 years. Text it in right now, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We will give you 3 minutes because they had 3 rounds. 833-401-1440. The combined record of the Oilers over the Kings the last 3 playoff years. It's a little bit of math, but I think it's pretty easy. Get it right, you're in the draw. All right, now, we'll wait for that. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca. Terry Ryan, 2-time author, just finished filming another season of Shoresy, former NHLer. Joins us now. TR, how you doing?
Good. I'm in Hamilton. My daughter has a soccer here and then next week I'm going to stick around and do the color for the Allen Cup, so Senior Hockey Canadian Championship. So I'm chilling. I'm enjoying spring. Really looking forward to the playoffs. I think every series looks intriguing to me, so I'm excited.
Now, the team that, of course, drafted you is back in the playoffs, the Montreal Canadiens. They punched their ticket last night, TR. And, the Bell Center is definitely one of the best atmospheres. Obviously, Edmonton in the playoffs ranks right up there, but the Bell Center is pretty unique. What do you think the chances are of the Habs against the Capitals?
I'm picking them now largely because it pays well, and I'm completely biased. But I think
Well, I
there
like
is
your
something
honesty.
to it.
I like your honesty.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you can, as a fan, in this case, an alumni or alumnus. How do you say that? Anyway, and I like when they win because it's a great vibe, and you get to go there, and we get to use the alumni room and the whole city. I mean, I can say that for any team, but I suppose having played there and its proximity to Newfoundland. So growing up, the only real two places I would go, we'd have a hockey tournament, would be Montreal or Toronto. So my fandom for Montreal and eagerness for them to win goes way back. I posted something today with my grandfather. I was like 5 years old, right? It was all Habs all the time. Now, that being said, I can still think I can look at this objectively and see reasons why they would be dangerous. First of all, they have nothing to lose, and that is scary. I don't know what sport people are into, but I think if you're listening to this and you're a hockey fan, you might even be a basketball player, maybe a football fan, but if your team comes in, having all that pressure of finishing so much further ahead, like the Washington Capitals, who haven't been playing fantastic lately, and the Habs are riding that fire, and there's something, you just said it, it's one thing to be in downtown Montreal, but in the Bell Center during playoffs, it might as well be 1-0. I don't care where you finished. And on top of that, you've got all this hype. I mean, I know it was a big year for Ovechkin and that the hype surrounding that. But the Habs now got this young whippersnapper, Demidov, come in, and, it's just like this X factor that nobody even saw, and you're going to add a future possible superstar to the mix. It just, to me, if I'm Washington, I'm a little bit wary of it. I'm probably not saying it out loud, but I have lots of reasons that I think the Habs could upset. And, do I need to go further than Hudson, who just seems every single game to be getting better and better turning himself into one of the premier offensive D-men, ever, to come in at this particular point, being so young. I don't know. The team that has nothing to lose with all those nucleus guys who are going to be there for a while that haven't peaked yet, I just think is a dangerous recipe if I'm coming and trying to play against them.
Yeah, well, I'm curious you mentioned Hudson because smaller defenseman, TR, the game, like Washington's a big, heavy team. And that the intensity of the playoffs ratchets up a lot. How do you feel like smaller D-men to be successful? How's he going to handle it? How is he going to be able to survive? What's he have to do?
I've got no reason to say that he won't survive because he's defied the odds the whole way. And I'm guessing the biggest knock against him probably would have been frailty, his body. It's not big. He's small. I'm sure people said the same thing to Rick Tocchet about his skating. You've got to figure out something. Yeah, how am I going to get around? Now, to this point, Hudson has figured it out. Now, so I've got no reason to think he won't. But the other side of that coin is that you're right. We've got some big guys, some scrappy guys. My game plan, I think he's so important that my game plan would be just finish every time.
100%.
Finish every single time. And I mean, I can make the obvious. A guy like Tom Wilson can play either way. So can Ovechkin. And, I know Ovechkin doesn't hit as much anymore, but it's playoffs. He wants to win. And I think he's going to lead by example, and it's going to trickle right down. And yes, their better players are also physical, and that could be hazardous for the Montreal team it's not only Hudson, a lot of their better players aren't exactly big specimens.
No.
So that will hurt them. But that's been their thing always, right? I don't know, not always, but in my lifetime, including when I was there, I believe that we all got brought in to kind of battle against that, and then things went haywire. But to me, it's always been a topic. It's an elephant in the room, always close to the top concern with the Montreal Canadiens is the size and can they take it in the playoffs. And the lone time in our lifetime, or fan even 5 or 6 years ago, I know that, but they had Weber and Price was there and they had more grit. It's just always seems to work against them. But the game is changing, and I think they could upset, but that's going to be the thorn in their side for sure, is size and fatigue.
What about the Oilers and the LA Kings? Fourth time. The Kings are hoping the fourth time is a charm. It's the first time they will have a home ice advantage. I'm not sure if it matters that much. We'll see. Edmonton's 6-2 the last few seasons in LA. What do you make of this series, the Oilers and the Kings? And really kind of, Edmonton, despite all their injuries, finishes the season 7-3.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's like these factors that come into play. First of all, these teams are really close in the standings. Obviously, they have been for some time. A lot of the nucleuses of these teams have played again. They've been through this. Now, I know the Oilers have won the last 3, I think it is, right? But, you've got intriguing to me on the other side is Doughty was out most of the year. And when he came back, even though he's a lot older, they seem to really thrive. Their record, their presence, and it's Drew Doughty. For the Oilers, I mean, that's not the only actor, but I see that being one for the Oilers. Kane is coming back, and Kane's a veteran, and I know he's been out for a while and then some, and a lot of people would say, well, it's going to take him a while to get better. I know, but he's coming right into his wheelhouse. This is exactly where you want him for. You've got him. He's rested. I don't think the pace is going to be anything too much for a guy that's been in the league this long. Maybe a few shifts, but he's coming right into, you're playing his type of game and you're adding him to the lineup, I think is way, way more a factor than people are making it out to be. Then you've got Ekholm, that clearly you'd like to have a healthy Ekholm. I think he might miss the whole first round, right? And then some, I believe. But I see that Nurse will benefit, of course, from getting a lot of minutes, and say what you'd want from that. If you're a fan, some people it might scare. It doesn't to me. I think this is his game too. I think this, and it's not only that though. I think he's going to play more, but I think the onus is going to be on Bouchard here. You got to really, really, really step it up. Last year he did. We know that, he's been known to cause the odd giveaway, but I mean, what offensive D doesn't? And this guy last year really stepped it up. Really did, when the same criticisms were there in the regular season. And we know it's going to be a turnover or two. But if he can play like he did last year, and I think Ekholm being out only emphasizes that, he's a great player. He's done it before. Why not? And then you've got, obviously at some point you can't talk about the Oilers without talking about their two best players, McDavid and Draisaitl. And those guys have always phenomenal in a year of kind of where Hyman started slow but still finished with 27. McDavid got 100 on the last day. There's a lot of reasons that you could kind of be skeptical, but for me, those guys in the playoffs, they know exactly what they want to do. The regular season was almost it needed to happen. It's a formality, get it out of the way. And I think now you're going to see the real Oilers. I see this going 7. It's a flip of a coin. I have the Oilers, obviously, because I'm doing this show, and I'd rather cheer for the team that I talk about.
Terry Ryan joins us when we come back. Dave McCarthy. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and we will get the winner. And here comes the sun, and who qualifies today to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home from Action Electrical.
Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal. My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers Hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Who did? Yes. Kyle. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. As we wrap up officially the NHL regular season, none of the games tonight have any bearing. All the seedings, everything has been set. So teams will just be playing it out. Some guys able to pad their stats maybe a little bit and maybe reach a milestone. Who knows? But that's it. Well, I will say the most important game tonight is the Flyers. If the Flyers lose, they will jump from the 6th best odds to the 4th best odds in the draft lottery. So they have the most to gain tonight if you're a team looking for the draft lottery. So Flyer fans, you should be cheering for a regulation loss tonight for sure. Now, let's get to our qualifier today for Here Comes the Sun. It's Kyle. Kyle, good afternoon. How you doing, my man?
Not too bad. And yourself?
Hey, I'm excellent. Excellent. Congratulations. You've qualified. You're in the draw. You could win a $15,000 solar system for your home, or you can gift it. You're going to keep it, or you're going to gift it?
I have solar myself, so I'll be gifting it probably.
Ooh, wow. Look at you. Nice. Well, you know the benefits. What's the biggest benefit of the solar?
Oh, just the amount of savings. I haven't had an electricity bill all winter, so it's been great.
Oh, there you go. That is nice. So, well, stay on the line. Connor will get all your information, and then you can nominate someone, and they could win a $15,000 solar package courtesy of Action Electrical. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.
There you go. It's nice. He sees the benefits. So could you. Imagine that. You got it. You get it installed. And then so not only do they put it on your home, you get it for free. And now you got no bills. Your bills go down. That is a win-win for sure. I like it. Let's go now around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where, whoo, baby, it's the weekend. Some of you, now maybe you want to try something big. Try the Big Arch. Connor and I, we agree it's the best burger McDonald's has ever had. 2 Canadian beef patties, 100% Canadian. Delicious new sauce. And all the McDonald's flavors you like. Try it if you haven't. The Big Arch. As we welcome in Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Davey, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, boys. What's up?
Oh, well, we're just trying to wrap up the regular season. The Maple Leafs are playing. The game means nothing to them, but they did get home ice, Dave, and they'll be at home tonight. When you look at the matchup against the Senators, what's the game plan, do you think, for the Leafs to knock off the Sens?
Well, I think the Leafs just have to worry about playing their game. Like, I know it's a cliche, but I think the big storyline, a big talking point coming into this series is, well, what's Brady Tkachuk going to be like? He's yet to play in the playoffs in his career. We saw what he was like at the Four Nations. He's probably going to come out of the gates like a wild animal. If you get caught up in trying to take him on and out Tkachuk, so to speak, you're probably going to lose that battle. So find a way to use his pent-up excitement, I think, against him. Let him run around. Let him do things that incur Ottawa more penalties, and just stick to your game. The Leafs have done a really good job over the last 3 or 4 weeks of doing just that, playing tight games, not taking unnecessary chances, letting the game come to them, and then when they get their opportunities, making good on them, and then bringing the game home. I think that's the recipe. They've been playing a real playoff style of hockey, so I think that's what they just have to continue doing. If they play like they have the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think they should win this series, won't say easily, but comfortably.
Tampa, Florida. Who do you like?
That's going to be interesting. I think Tampa is the team that I'm going to have to go with in this one. They score a ton, more so than I think we all expected coming into the year. And we thought Tampa Bay was going to be good. But they score a ton of goals. Andre Vasilevsky's got his play back up to where it was when Tampa Bay was winning Stanley Cup. And you look up and down that lineup, I continue to say what a great spine of their team that they have, with Kucherov and Point and Cirelli and Nick Paul, who always plays his best hockey at this time of year. Jake Gensel, having brought him in, and what an impact that he has made. Victor Hedman on the back end, and Vasilevsky between the pipes. Like, this is a really good team. Florida's coming into this series not having played their best, banged up. Like, to what percentage are we going to get Matthew Tkachuk? If at all, in the first game or two. We'll see. Like, that's still in question right now. You look at the fact that Aaron Ekblad won't be available for the first 2 games as he completes his suspension. Like, there's a lot of question marks right now around Florida that I don't think exist with Tampa Bay. I think I'd go with Tampa Bay. I think it'll be a long series. I'm going to go with a Bolts in this one.
Go ahead, TR.
Well, I was curious, who do you think in the first round in either conference, who do you think have the most pressure on them, players?
Most pressure on them? Probably the Winnipeg Jets, right? Like, they have had an unbelievable season, win the President's Trophy, but they come in yet again as a team where there's a lot of expectations on them. And the last 2 years, they have not handled those expectations well at all in the first round, when they essentially morphed into some team that we did not see all year long. They have been a really good defensive team the last couple of years, and that disappeared. Connor Halley, it's like they took the glass slipper off him. He morphed back into, whatever, a pumpkin, so to speak. His play suffered big time in the first round. So he's had a tremendous season. The Jets have had a tremendous season as a team. But now you come into this series against the St. Louis Blues. You are the team that is expected to win. They got to find a way to win this series. So I think there's a lot of pressure on the Jets. I also think these players know if they don't win, the team will look different next year.
Now, Dave, and I mean, they got to play St. Louis, who aren't exactly a pushover and are pretty much heating up at this time of year again. But who do you think? You look at all the series. What do you think is the most likely upset?
Most likely upset. That's a good question. You wouldn't really consider the Oilers beating the Kings an upset, would you? Just for clarification on this question. So, that doesn't count. I guess, and neither would you consider Florida beating Tampa or Colorado beating Dallas as the lower seed. So I think if you're going to look at this question, you got to look at the wild card matchups here to make it legit. That's tough. I think Winnipeg's going to beat St. Louis. I think Vegas is going to handle Minnesota pretty easy. I'm terrible with prediction, boys. So
do you think the Habs got a chance?
They played extremely well coming in, but I'm interested to see what they look like now in the first round. You can make the argument now there'll be pressure on them, or you can make the converse argument to say, well, they got in. That's already their Stanley Cup, if you will. Now they can play free and easy and lose. Washington stumbled down the stretch, and they haven't looked very good. Logan Thompson may not be available early in the series, which is not ideal. I guess if you forced me to pick one, I would say Montreal over Washington, but I'm not really excited that there's going to be an upset in any one of those 4 wildcard series.
Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Dave, let's quickly kind of put a bow on the regular season for some teams. The Columbus Blue Jackets, they got 5 wins in a row here. They got Jet Greaves playing out of his mind, and they just came up a little bit short, unfortunately for them. But this Blue Jackets, do you think this is something they can build on, or is this just an emotional season that's going to be impossible for them to recapture?
I think there's something they can build on there because it was driven in large part by guys that have long futures in Columbus. The Adam Fantillis, the Kirill Marchenkos, the Kent Johnson, guys like that. Zach Werenski's still going to be a really good player next year. He's still in the prime of his career. We'll see what Jet Greaves is able to do if he's able to take on a larger role. Individually, on his part, I would say there might be more of an emotional high there, and he caught lightning in a bottle. Can he sustain that? That's a different question. But as a team, if Don Waddell can go out and add to the group and bring in some pieces that could continue to augment what they have, I think those young guys that I mentioned are only going to continue to get better, as we saw this year. So, I do think this is something that can be built off of. You look at the Metro this year, it wasn't that good of a division. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be any better next year. I don't think Philadelphia's going to be any better next year. The Islanders have got a lot of work to do. They're old. They need to really change the look of their team. Bring in some younger talent. There's going to be some work there. So, and what state of the rink is going to be in? How much change is going to come to that organization? So I look at Columbus as a team in that Metro division that is young and up and coming, and kind of like the Ottawa Senators or the Montreal Canadiens in the Atlantic the last couple of years that have been knocking away at the door. And now we've seen what Montreal and Ottawa have been able to do, push through. Is next year that year for Columbus? Are they a year away from that? It's hard to say. But I look at them as a team that is on their way up and will only continue to get better.
Davey, quickly, give me your thoughts from afar on the Oilers and the Kings.
Well, I heard Connor McDavid say today that he doesn't want people looking at them like some wounded bear coming into the playoffs. In other words, don't pity us. And that's nice to say, and that's what a good leader should say. Like, I am concerned about how they've played down the stretch, the amount of injuries that they're dealing with to key personnel, too. I don't have to go through the list. You guys in Edmonton listeners are well aware. But that concerns me. They haven't come into the year, and I know they didn't go into the playoffs last year on all that much of a high, but they didn't have the same level of injuries. And without Matthias Ekholm available, to me, that fundamentally changes the look of that group. Stuart Skinner has been, to put it nicely, very inconsistent this year. And I do think the LA Kings are a team that has gotten better. They've been the best team in the league by far at home this year, and that's where the series will start. Defensively, they've been very sound. So I don't think the Kings want to get into a run-and-gun series. But as long as they can stay disciplined, stay out of the box, don't give the Oilers an opportunity on the power play to take control of this series, keep the game at 5-on-5, I think the Kings have a chance to win. And I think the Oilers understand that. I don't think they're going to take them lightly. It's going to be a tough series for the Oilers. And I haven't jumped in the lab yet to finalize my predictions, but you put me on the spot. I think I'm going to pick the Kings in a long series, but I think I'm going to pick the Kings in this one.
Davey, enjoy the season finale, and we will talk playoffs next week.
Okay, boys. Be well.
Have a good Easter. That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. See, I actually disagree. The Oilers are 7-3 in their last 10 games without lots of their guys. I think Edmonton's played quite well here. Like the month of April, you go 7-3. Well, let's actually go back to the last game against Calgary. So they're 7-3 in their last 10. And you know what? Now, they did lose 2 games to LA in that time. Now, McDavid and Draisaitl were out both those games amongst a few other guys. And Edmonton didn't score a goal. So that's valid to say, But without McDavid and Draisaitl, the Oilers' offense does look different. And against other teams, they were able to get it done. Those 2 games, they had more guys, scratched in other games. So that's a factor. But it is, to me, I think, like practice tomorrow, I'm guessing, will be the most anticipated practice of the year for Oilers fans. They just want to see who's on the ice. Right? Wallman, Stetcher, Hyman. Now, we've seen Draisaitl. He's been doing all the stuff. Draisaitl, he's playing. Don't even put him in the conversation. He's playing, and I think he'll be fine. I'm curious, what line is Evander Kane on? And when we come back, we'll do 5 questions. We'll talk TR. Where is Evander Kane playing? On the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Sexy Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991. or visit silentrides.ca.
Spring into savings at the Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Get up to 35% off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining room furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game. Get a king for the price of a queen on select mattresses. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 or more major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
They know we carry multiple brands.
Okay. Hi there, this is Riverside Motorsports, Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM, Polaris, Gas, Husqvarna, Tibbersled, Stasic, Talaria, Climb, Thor, Alpine Stars, 509, Troy Lee Designs, and more. Sales, how can I help you?
Located on St. Albert Trail, rideriverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring tandem and single axle trucks, including box and hoists, diggers, decks, day cabs and tractors, man lifts, pickers, plows, refuse bodies, and van bodies. Info at maauctions.com.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring a complete dispersal of Arbatki Oilfield Limited, including 2013 Kenworth W900 tractor and 2001 Kenworth W900 gravel truck. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A pre-positive Friday. How are you? Welcome back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. You ever have one of those days where you're just like, it's good to be alive. Feeling good? Feeling excited? Sports fans, man, this is the time you live for. NBA playoffs, play-ins going on. I can't wait, but their playoffs officially get going on Saturday, just like the NHL. Playoffs will go on Saturday, 2 games Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 4 on Monday, including the Edmonton Oilers. If you missed it, the Oilers will play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday next week. And the first 3 games, the broadcast will be 8 o'clock, which means puck drop, depending anywhere from 8:15 to 8:22, maybe, hopefully not that late. And then Sunday's game actually will be a 7:30 broadcast start with puck drop probably closer to 7:45, maybe even 7:40. Dare to dream. Dare to dream. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. And this long weekend, you can find amazing offers for your home and patio. Also, you can pick up front load laundry for just $1,500 and mattresses starting at $99. It's the long weekend sale at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. What would you say is your biggest question about this Oilers team as they get ready to kick off the playoff in Los Angeles on Monday?
First of all, Connor, thank you for playing Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels on the way in. Devil with the Blue Dress, one of my favorite 60s songs. Second of all, I would be wary about health. I guess it's mostly Ekholm there. People have been out, but I think most of it's precautionary. And fatigue. You go all the way to Game 7, and don't win. You know how long and hard that can be. And you've just played another entire regular season. I would say the same thing about Florida. This would be their third go-around, so that's why I'm picking Tampa in the first round. But I'm not too concerned, but you're asking me what my biggest concerns would be. That would be them.
To me, the biggest concern I have is the difference in size on the back end from Ekholm, Ceci, and Desharnais to Wallman, Emerson, and Stetcher combined, and how will that impact the order? So that's my concern for Edmonton.
Question number 2, taking all the teams in the league into account, if you had to do a top 5 power rankings, what would be your top 5 teams right now?
Well, in no particular order, my top 5 would be Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Tampa. And I know that's 4 West. I think the West is strong.
Yeah, I've got the same, except I slotted Toronto in. I'm going to go with Toronto over Tampa. It has to happen sometime. It was tough for me to actually write those words down, but I did.
Question number 3. Lots of fun matchups in the NHL playoffs, but is there a series that you think you just don't care about quite as much as the others?
For me, no. I mean, it would be the Jersey series, but Dawson Mercer is a Newfoundlander, and I'm always watching closely. So I think each story has got something intriguing. I guess Minnesota after that, but Vegas, I think, are really being discounted here. No one's talking about them, and I think they got a good chance as any to win the cup. So I think that'll be intriguing for that reason. But anyway, I'm going to be glued to the TV the entire time.
The Carolina, New Jersey series, that is, I'm just trying to find an angle of, okay, this is what I want. Now I get TR, if you got an East Coaster, okay, you got to find something, but I can't find one. Honestly, like I've been looking up and down for New Jersey and I'm like, there's nothing really that intrigues me. So, hey, I'm a sports fan. So you know what, I might watch it a little bit, but man, like if I'm looking and I say, okay, I've only got so many hours in the day to put towards hockey, I'm not wasting it on New Jersey, Carolina for me. I'm going to save it. Toronto, Ottawa, 100%. Vegas, Minnesota, sign me up. But New Jersey, Carolina, I can't get into it. There's nothing about that series that gets me intrigued.
Question number 4. So on the flip side, NBA series, we got a couple play-in games to get through first, but is there a series you're looking forward to the most in the association?
Ooh, that is a good question, man. The NBA, like the NBA play, and I know people like it. Hey, if you got a team in it, it's great. Do I think it really ultimately impacts much? No. Usually the same teams get in, and the 8 seed might lose the first game, and then they win, and we're like, okay, so we got the exact same teams that we thought when it started. But I'm gonna go the Nuggets Clippers series in the first round for sure is the one that intrigues me. Followed closely by the Rockets and the Warriors because I think the Warriors can upset them.
Me too. I think the Warriors can upset. I love watching Curry. He's my favorite player. I'm also intrigued. I'm with Stephen A. I'm with the Michael Jordan side of things, but I think LeBron and the whole thing with his kid, I thought was just one step away from idiotic, putting all that pressure on your son and everything. But hey, maybe he wanted it. All those things completely separate. I'm very intrigued. He's this old and he's still doing it. And now Luka's over there. I mean, Dallas fans just don't know what to do with themselves. LA, just fell into this position out of nowhere. I don't think anybody saw it coming. So I'm really intrigued with every single game the Lakers play. And, if LeBron is to win another one, then I'm not the biggest fan, but I would be the first to tip my hat and say, wow. So that really intrigues me.
Terry, quickly here. Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
Not a huge, but I did watch it through. I thought it was decent. You know, I know all the characters.
Okay, so our final question is: it was on this day back in 2011 when Game of Thrones debuted on HBO. So, in honor of that, who's your favorite character, and do you have a favorite scene?
Yeah. So, okay, I believe Joffrey. You know that
King Joffrey. Oh yeah, he was great, man. He's a great villain.
I thought he was, and he was just so. I mean, he was so just no courage and such a greaseball, and just in so many things that I just loathe and despise. But I thought he played the character awesome, and it was either him. Spoiler alert: if people haven't seen it, when he got poisoned there in public, or oh God, what was the girl's name? Had to wear she had to walk through the streets being shamed.
Oh, Cersei.
Yeah, those two scenes for me.
Shame.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I'll probably get around to watching it again, but those two things really stood out to me, and I thought it was some of the best casting since in this century. It was just awesome.
Man, it's a hard one to pick best scene. But I might go with the in the Battle of the Bastards, the death of Ramsay Bolton. The great part about that show is the villains were you loathe the villains, but you're like, God, I kind of like them, but you loathe them. So I'm going to go for him as the best scene. And obviously I'm going with Tyrion Lannister. I thought he was unreal. Peter Dinklage, the imp. I thought he was great, but honestly, Lena Headey as Cersei, she was fantastic too, man. She was another great lead character villain. You're just like, God, I can't stand her. But it was to me, that's a great actor is when you realize that you annoy them, but you're also like, God, I kind of respect them.
Exactly. That's the way I look at it. If they annoy you that much, then these people are doing a fantastic job.
Although I did love Arya Stark too. She was awesome. As the protagonist that you'd like in the show, she was great. So there's a lot of good characters. That's a show, honestly, Cons. I might have to rewatch it.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I think I might have to rewatch it.
It takes your time. It takes a lot of time, though.
Well, but no, how many seasons is there? Because there's only 8 episodes a season, isn't it? Or is there 10?
I think it's about 8, but episodes usually, 45 to an hour?
45 minutes, yeah.
It's 8 seasons.
Yeah, okay. So I could pump out 2 or 3 a week. Yeah. Be pretty good, right? Oh, I could get back into that show. Because honestly, the first time you watch it, I'm like, who the hell are all the characters? It took me a while. So I think I might actually appreciate it the next time, because half the time I was trying to who's this person again? Because God, they kept bringing in characters. Because the one thing I liked about Game of Thrones was they weren't afraid to just kill off people. I know that sounds crazy, but at that time, people didn't live very long. So it made sense that they weren't around all the time.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So it's not like now, did anybody die off in Shoresy this year, TR?
Oh, I can't reveal that kind of information.
No.
But I guess.
Well, no one really dies in Shoresy, though. That's to be fair. It's not that show. But it would be maybe if someone retired, right? Maybe at some point.
Hey, there were some characters that didn't come back for season 4, and who knows what happened. Maybe they got hit by a bus. I don't know. As long as Hitch is safe, I don't really care at this point.
Touche. Now, T, are you going to Montreal at some point for a playoff game?
For sure. Yeah, I love it. We go there. A lot of the ex-players go, and it's a vibe downtown. It's a vibe everywhere. Really enjoy it. We get to go into the alumni room and watch, and sometimes tickets, but I usually just do that. Head out to my favorite spots, and then after the game, and then watch from the alumni room, and then after the game, head over to Hurley's. And a lot of my ex-teammates and a lot of Newfoundlanders have the same plans, so it's always fun.
Well, TR, have a good weekend and enjoy that, because that'll be Montreal would be next Thursday, Friday, I think, in Montreal. Whew, that will be quite a thing. So we'll chat with you next week, my man. Have a good one. Have a happy Easter.
Thanks, you too. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton. See you guys next week.
There you go. That's Terry Ryan joins us Tuesday, Thursday here on Sports 1440. We got Craig Button coming up after 5 o'clock. And then when we're going to get your thoughts, because we're going to have a little fun. We're obviously not on tomorrow. It's Good Friday. And so, but the Oilers don't play. So we still have another show to preview, but we will have a better sense on Monday. What are the line combinations? We'll know for sure who's in the lineup by then. We have a good inclination. We know that Ekholm's not in for sure. Other than that, Trent Frederick, I'm leaning no for game 1. I could be wrong, but I'm probably leaning no for game one. I think he'll play in the series. It's not necessarily in game one. I do think Evander Kane will play in game one. What are the D pairs going to be? And where's Kane going to play? We'll get to all that in the final hour of the show. But first, let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They take care of your vehicle and your wallet up until April 26. You can save up to 25% off and get an additional $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Last day of the regular season in the NHL tonight. You got the Flyers taking on the Sabres, Leafs, and Red Wings. Hurricanes in Ottawa. Rangers host Lightning, Caps, Penguins, Islanders, Jackets, and the Kings hosting the Calgary Flames. San Jose Sharks rookie phenom Matthew Celebrini has committed to playing for Canada for the upcoming IIHF World Championships in May. This season, the 18-year-old led all rookies with 25 goals scored and was second in points behind just Canadian sensation Blaine Hudson. Major League Baseball, a couple games going on right now. Scoreless between the Royals and the Tigers in the second. Also in the second, Orioles with the Guardians 1-0. This evening, you will have the Rays and Yankees, Cards in New York taking on the Mets, and the Rangers hosting the Angels. Earlier today, Marlins falling at home to the Diamondbacks 6-4. Was the Pirates over the Nationals 1-0. Mariners dropped the Reds 11-7 in extras. Athletics blinked the White Sox 8-0, and the Phillies got past the Giants 6-4. In the WHL tonight, Gavin McKenna and the Medicine Hat Tigers can wrap up their series with the PA Raiders as they lead 3-0. Puck drop in that one set for 7 o'clock. The Edmonton Elks making some moves, adding American offensive lineman Tamari Fox, as well as wide receiver Marshall Martin, an offensive lineman Grant Smith, and Mark Evans the second. And at the Women's World Hockey Championship, Canada knocked off Japan at 9-1. They'll meet Finland in the semis on Saturday. The U.S. taking on the host Czechs in the other semifinal, with the medal games getting going on Sunday. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Greg Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
You know how you look forward to all your favorite sports coming back in the spring? Soccer, baseball, golf. Well, GS Construction looks forward to getting back to work with the warmer weather. We're all excited and geared up for this very busy time of year. The groundbreaking season is upon us, and GS Construction is ready to roll with all sorts of new projects. Projects that help the community and make the place we live in better. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring tandem and single axle trucks, including box and hoists, diggers, decks, day cabs and tractors, man lifts, pickers, plows, refuse bodies, and van bodies. Info at maauctions.com.
We've been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL.
Bach pack.
That's right.
Okay.
The job isn't done
just
until
think of
the
the-
last
remember the-
load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to
Connor
your
Halley,
convoy,
Terry Ryan,
Edmonton
Sports-
Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and
Welcome back
freight
to the Gregor
industry.
Show, Sports
Find a
Force.
trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Nuges Nuggets. This is Nuges Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of heating and cooling advice does Nuge have today?
You can save a lot of money by bundling your new furnace and AC with Legacy. It's kind of like saving money on an endorsement by bundling me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with someone like, I don't know, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Thanks for suggesting me, Nuge. Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC and furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of Nuges Nuggets.
Get moving. Step away from the screen. Lace up those shoes and explore the outdoors. Whether it's a leisurely walk, a bike ride, or taking the stairs, every little bit counts. Healthy habits aren't made alone. Grab a friend and do it together.
Missioner Allen Auctions Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring a complete dispersal of Arbatki Oilfield Limited, including 2013 Kenworth W900 tractor and 2001 Kenworth W900 gravel truck. Info at maauctions.com.
Give me your attention, baby. I gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're one of our flawless.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Bruno Mars for you. Now that guy's talented, dude. Very talented dude. One of those guys sing, dance, play all the instruments. It's kind of like a young generation of Prince, really, when you think about it. And pretty skilled guy. Happy Thursday. Getting set for the long weekend for many of you. Tomorrow, day off. You can relax. You got the weekend. I know someone like, why aren't the Oilers playing on the weekend? It's no different than last year. The Oilers started on the Monday. For a team that's banged up, and by the way, 7-3 without lots of their guys down the stretch, I think it shapes up well for Edmonton. I'm probably in the minority. I think Edmonton is fine. I know a lot of people, oh my God, they're not nearly as good as last year. Why? Fogle, McLeod, and Holloway had fewer goals last year. I know everybody's thinking Dylan Holloway this year, but last year they had fewer goals than Arvidsson, Skinner, and Podkolzin have combined for this year. I don't know if they're, and Arvidsson's heating up at the right time. I don't know if they're, I don't think they're any less skilled up front. Kane's going to be healthy. To me, the wild card, you get Frederick. Now, the Ekholm injury, that's the one. I think it's totally valid to be concerned about that. But Edmonton's team defense, which they showed in the playoffs last year, which they showed regular season, which they've showed here in the last 10 games, like their goaltenders, when was the last time they really had to stand on their head? It's been a while. And then you don't, because Edmonton doesn't have an elite goalie. I'm not expecting their goalies to be elite. They're not elite. That'd be like me saying, hey, you know what? Ty Emerson, why the hell aren't you running the power play? Can't believe he's not a power play guy. It's not who he is, right? He's a third pair defenseman. The Oilers goalie, Stuart Skinner, he took you to the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. He had 2 bad games. He had a lot of really good games. I think he can be that guy again. He just has to avoid having 2 bad games in a row. That's got to be the key. You can have a bad game. It's going to happen, but you just can't have multiple in a row at this point. Let's get to the playoff push now, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now at GMC. Get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD model. See more at gmccanada.ca. Former NHL Stanley Cup winner, Scout GM, ace analyst, scout for TSN. Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing?
I am great, Jason. How are you today?
Oh, man, I am fired up. I love the playoffs, man. I got NBA playoffs going on. I got WHL playoffs I'm watching. You got the NHL right around the corner. Like, it's unreal, man. We have the Masters, one of the greatest Sundays I remember in a long time. So, it's a great time of year to be a hockey fan, to be a sports fan overall. So, I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to the series. I'm going to ask you a hard question to start, Craig. Can you find a reason why I should be interested in watching Carolina, New Jersey?
Can I find a reason? No, I can't find a reason. Yeah. There are. Jack Hughes is out, so Jack Hughes is would be the answer to your question. He'd be worth watching, right? Because he's exciting and he's electric and everything. Oh yeah, but he's not playing. So I would say no, Jason. Don't subject yourself to that type of what I would. You talked about a series that just doesn't appeal. It just doesn't. There's no appeal to it. What's the appeal?
No, there isn't any. Like, it's just every other series I can find appeal. I can't find an appeal to that series. And it's now maybe I'll be wrong and maybe it'll end up being just an unreal series. I can't see how. But there are a lot of them, Craig. So I kind of want to start. Montreal, Washington, from afar, to me, I love the story of the Habs. They come out at, not a lot of people are expecting. Heck, they were second last place team in like December. And so they worked their way into it. Good for them. While some other teams faltered, they got hotter. You bring in Demidov, and he was exciting and all that stuff. But, man, I just think Washington's a bad matchup. In the playoffs, the games are bigger and stronger, and that's what Washington is. And I'm going to have a hard time seeing Montreal's defense handle that forward group at the Capitals. What do you see?
Well, it's like a magic trick, right? Once you know what the magic trick is, it doesn't become magic anymore. So the Montreal Canadiens have had magic, but the magic's not going to work against the Washington Capitals. The Capitals are more skilled, bigger, stronger, harder. And to me, like, can Montreal win a game? Yeah. Could they maybe win 2? Yeah, but they're not beating Washington 4 games.
No, I totally agree with you. Now, like the Capitals, to me, I think the Capitals got the easiest path to get to the conference final because then they're going to play the winner of Carolina, New Jersey. So, that benefits them a lot. Now the Atlantic Division.
But here's so this is. So I think that you need to watch Carolina, New Jersey, so you can really handicap that second round series with Washington.
Yeah, well, that's true. I can find something intriguing automatically about the Capitals in that series. I'll say that. Toronto, Ottawa is interesting to me. The health of Brady Tkachuk, who I really think is the straw that stirs the drink of Ottawa, is key. And Craig, is there anything you've seen this year that makes you say, okay, the big four in Toronto can finally be the big four in the playoffs? Because they really, if you look historically at their points in the playoffs compared to the regular season, it's just not the same. And that's the difference. Good teams, best guys got to be their best. Will their best forwards show up and be their best players and be as productive this postseason?
Well, you nailed it, Jason. They need to be. They need to, Matthews looks like he's getting back to form after having some various ailments this year. Mitch Marner with 100 points. John Tavares has been excellent, and I call him the ageless John Tavares. And, Matthew Nyes and Bobby McMahon have helped out, certainly William Nylander. But let me answer the question this way. So I think it goes without saying that they're going to have to find a way. This is their 9th playoff together. I'm talking about the core 4. That's Nylander, Riley, Matthews, and Marner. So they're going to have to find a way to be successful. If they aren't, Jason, there's going to have to be massive changes in Toronto.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the pressure they're under. We did a pressure meter. I think Marner and Matthews are under the most pressure. And it could be one or the other. Both, I think, are 1-2, 2-1, whatever you want to call it. But they're under pressure because, this is ninth year. Like, and the most you've ever won in a playoff season is 5 games. That means you're 11 wins short of winning the Stanley Cup. You haven't even come close.
No, you haven't. You're right. And yeah, like there's a lot of pressure on them and really on the organization, because if it doesn't, then the organization is going to have to make some difficult decisions on which direction they're going to go, because you can't just continue to roll it back again thinking it would be different.
So here's what I think. I think if they don't get it done, I think it's an easy decision. How you execute it and how you work to keep your team and try to put your team in a better spot. But I think it becomes really easy. It's like if they lose in the first round, or they get blown out early in the second round, I think it's really easy. Brad Treliving comes up and goes, "Change is coming. Stay tuned." None of this other BS that was there. Yeah, we believe in the core and we believe in this. I mean, come on. If it becomes 9 years, that might be 4 years too many.
Now, that being said, I'm actually picking Toronto over Ottawa. I think they'll beat Ottawa. But now the next series.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
The next series will be tougher. And Tampa and Florida. Now, it'll be the last series started. It doesn't get until Tuesday, which probably helps Florida. Paul Maurice even mentioned that, he doesn't really know yet where guys are at. And that could be gamesmanship. But, we know Ekblad's not playing the first 2 games. And, but Tkachuk, we'll see where he's at. But I think Tampa Bay has kind of been quietly really good. They still have the elite top end guys. Kucherov's having another great year. He's winning on Art Ross again. You got Braden Point. But to me, the big one is Vasilevsky's being a little bit more rested like he was again. And that's why I'm taking Tampa. Who do you like in that series and why?
I'm right with you. And I think they've been outstanding since the Four Nations break. And even before that for a stretch. But I think they've been outstanding. I think that their top end is great. Their goaltender is great. The blue line is one that knows how to get it done. And I have Tampa Bay, moving forward past Florida. It won't be easy.
No.
I mean, we'll get to the Colorado Dallas series, but those are 2 legitimate Stanley Cup contenders down in Florida, and one of them's going home after the first round. But I have Tampa over Florida as well.
Craig, let's move to the West, and we'll start in the Central. The Jets and the Blues. Now the Blues, they're already down Dylan Holloway. The Robert Thomas news, Rutherford put it out today that he's missed practice. They're not sure about him, but I'm sure they're just resting, just to be careful. But like the Blues had a great run. This isn't 2019's team. I don't like their defense core like that 2019 team at all. The Dylan Holloway injury, I think, is a big blow to them, and I don't think they have enough depth to take on the Jets. What about you?
Yeah, you got some younger players that are being asked to play some pretty, what I would call top of the lineup minutes and top of the lineup responsibilities. And the Jets are a really good team, and they're deep. And yes, they've had their disappointments, but I think it's time for the Jets to have learned from those disappointments. I think you go back and look at the record against good teams this year in the National Hockey. It's outstanding. Like I guess you have to beat all the teams and you have to beat the good teams to win the President's Trophy, but it's been outstanding. And as good as St. Louis is, like, they inched into the playoffs. If think about this, if the Calgary Flames win tonight against the LA Kings, they'll have the same amount of points as St. Louis to lose on a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So, I like where St. Louis has moved. I think it's a bonus that they made the playoffs, but I think this is Winnipeg's time, Jason.
Yeah, I think it might be a short series, to be honest. So it's kind of how I see it. Now, Colorado, Dallas, Craig. 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, my God, this would be a coin flip. Just close my eyes and pick one. I think they're even. However, Heiskanen, more and more of the news. I don't think he's ready. And then the Jason Robertson, that hit for McCarron last night. Dude, you can't admire your pass like that. And now he might be out. And if he's out, I think Dallas's chances of matching up against Colorado go out the window with him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, losing Heiskanen is huge. He plays 30 minutes a night.
Yes.
And he's not going to be back. And, by all accounts, he's not going to be back. I don't have any more knowledge, but by all accounts, he's not going to be back. Now you lose Robertson, who's been fantastic since the calendar turned to 2025. And again, you've just got another big absence, another big hole in your lineup that I don't think they can replace. I don't like their blue line. I don't like the right side blue line in Dallas.
Yeah.
Heiskanen was a guy that could do so much to prop up other players. They don't have that now. And I think Dallas is, timing of the Heiskanen injury, timing of Robertson if he can't play, I think that becomes a playoff first-round spiral for the Dallas Stars.
Well, and the fact the Stars have lost 7 in a row going into the playoffs. Like that, I went back and looked. Like, there's no team that goes on a deep run that loses 7 in a row going into the playoffs.
No, you're right. You got to have your game in order.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising how, like, okay, you know what? There's not lots to play for. You lose a game or two here or there, but 7 in a row, like, come on. That's and Jake Ottinger. I don't know if you'd be watching, Craig. I'm sure you have. It's your former organization, but like Jake Ottinger has been meh here for the whole month of April.
It's a big concern for the Dallas Stars. You know, one of the things that Jake's a good goaltender, but he's put the Dallas Stars in holes. And by that, what I mean by holes is, you know, you fall behind in a series. So you fall behind 2-0 last year versus the Vegas Golden Knights. And now you got to expend so much energy, go on the road, have to go win some games. And, you know, and like Jake, like, you know, you're capable, but we don't need you to put us in a hole and then help us get out of the hole. Don't put us in the hole in the first place. He hasn't shown his ability to do that. And I think you eventually run out of gas. You eventually run out. You're running on fumes, and you just don't have enough. And certainly, I think Jake Ottinger becomes a real significant player to look at for the Dallas Stars.
So that leads us into the Pacific. Craig Button from TSN joins us. Vegas and Minnesota. The Wild battled injuries all year long. Their roster's finally healthy now. And there is a little bit of concern maybe about Jack Eichel, although they say he's going to be ready to go. But, you know, Minnesota, could they pull off the upset?
I don't think so. I don't think that. I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights, their blue line's outstanding. They got depth in their forward group. You know, yes, if there was some areas of their team where they were a little bit short. Mark Stone's played excellent. You know, you got Hurdle back, who missed a few games. Eichel gets back in there. I just don't see Minnesota being out. And I'll be, you know, Minnesota's defense. You know, they have Faber and Brodin. Then they got Spurgeon, who gives you everything he's got. After that, good luck. Good luck with the rest of that blue line. That's all I'm going to say.
Zeev Bouillon, Craig, he's not going to be a miracle worker.
I love Zeev Bouillon, but let's just put it this way. Like, when I say good luck, I wasn't putting Zeev into that category of player, but like of the problem. But just think about it. You got to take a rookie defenseman and put him in the lineup in the playoffs. And does that tell you everything about how weak their blue line is? It's a blue line that doesn't get you deep in the playoffs. I don't think it gets you a first round win against a really good Vegas team.
And that leaves us with the last one, 4th year in a row. The Oilers and the LA Kings. The Oilers have been decimated by injuries down the stretch, but they still went 7-3 in their last 10 games. You know, Connor McDavid, since coming back from injury, has looked like Connor McDavid really for the first time since probably November on a night-by-night basis, and, you know, had 10 points and basically averaging 2.5 points a game for 4 games. Draisaitl's been skating, and he'll be rested. Zach Hyman. Now, obviously, Ekholm's out. That's a pretty big blow. I don't think there's any debate on that. What do you make of this series? And the fact that, you know, Edmonton knows they can beat LA, and LA has to show they can beat. Do you think that plays into it at all?
Well, Darcy Kemper has been to the promised land. He won a Stanley Cup. And he's been outstanding this year for the LA Kings. The LA Kings have been an outstanding defensive team. So, like, you know, things change every year. And I don't think that the Edmonton Oilers are sitting here going, oh, we got to go play the LA Kings. Oh, we don't have home ice. They're comfortable playing their game regardless. They won 2 series last year. The second round versus Vancouver and the third round versus Dallas without home ice. So I don't think that there's anything daunting for the Edmonton Oilers. But the LA Kings defensive play is really good. Their blue line, I mean, Edmondson, Mikey Anderson, Gavrikov, and Doughty. I mean, they're hard competitive players, and they're good. And so they're going to be tasked with handling McDavid and Draisaitl, who we know can turn games into the favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Somebody asked me earlier in the week, they said, you're not going to bet against McDavid and Draisaitl. I said, I don't think it's ever smart to bet against McDavid and Draisaitl. But I wouldn't bet against them. But when you're picking a series, you're picking the team. And I think that the Edmonton Oilers have some weaknesses. I don't think they're as good coming into the playoffs as they were last year. I'd go back to middle of February. They were struggling. Their game wasn't in order. Yeah, they've worked to get it back, and certainly, you know, they're going to need some good strong play in the absence of Matthias Ekholm. But I think the Edmonton Oilers are vulnerable. I think they're vulnerable. And I think that when you start to look at a series and you start to look at a team that can really make it tight, the Edmonton Oilers can score, and we know they can. But the LA Kings don't give up a lot. Now, here is what I think the LA Kings have to show me. The more the game is close, the more the advantage swings to the Oilers, because they have game breakers. I'm not so sure that the LA Kings have the game breakers. So I think you got to try to find a grind the Oilers and try to get a lead. Because when that game's even, McDavid's coming over the boards, Draisaitl's coming over the boards, and we know what they can do.
Yeah, if I have one concern about Edmonton, it's the difference on their size of their blue line with Ekholm, Desharnais, and Ceci out. And Wallman I like a lot. And I think what's going to happen this year is I think the top four are going to play even more. Wallman, Kulak, Nurse, and Bouchard. And Nurse has had a great year, way better this year than he was last year. And, and he wasn't great in the playoffs. So he steps up. That helps a lot. It's the third pair. Now, they might go full Chicago or full Philly, Craig, when your third pair is playing 10 minutes a night. And that's what they might do. And teams have won doing that because Nurse and Bouchard have proven they can play forever, right? Same with Kulak. Wallman, we don't know yet, but he skates very well. And usually the good skaters can handle more minutes because they're somewhat effortless. That, to me, is the difference. I actually think Edmonton's forward group, Evander Kane's tenacity and on-ice arrogance is going to be a big welcome to this team come playoff time against LA, because LA is a little bit bigger. Their fourth line isn't as small as last year. Yep. Hellenius is massive. And I like Kane. It's hard, like that on ice arrogance. I think it spreads. Like he's chirping everybody, he doesn't back down. And I think it brings more guys into the fight. And then McDavid, and when your two best players have that, where they've shown that they show up, and I'm with you. I think if the game's close, Edmonton's shown they can play. They've won 1-0. They've won 2-1. They've won 2-0 against LA. LA, to me, has to find a way to get ahead and stay ahead. Because if you look at last year, they were up 3-0 in a game. They lost. Or maybe that was 2 years ago. Maybe I'm mixing it up. But there was a few times where they had leads and they couldn't hold the lead despite being supposedly the good defensive team.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. But when you're up against when you're up against 97 and 29, they can take the best of what you have and make it look really ordinary. And that's the advantage that the Oilers have with those two players. And the other thing I would add too, and I like the way you said that on ice arrogance for Evander Kane, because I love that about him. The key to me, and we'll all be watching him closely, how quickly he can ramp up to speed. Because the last time he played was 10 months ago.
Yeah.
And so, maybe it won't take him long. Maybe he needs a game to get his legs underneath him. But that's what you'll be watching for, to see how quickly he can get into his game and be a factor for the Oilers. Because if he gets into his game, we all know that Evander can be a factor for the Edmonton Oilers. And
just for fun, do you think Trent Frederick will play and stay in the lineup?
Really, those injuries that you have, those high ankle sprains, right?
Oh, brutal.
They are brutal. And so it's the twisting and turning. And when you think about playoff hockey, there's not a lot of space. You're twisting, turning, twisting. You're always in those tight spots. So, if he was coming back for the first time in the playoffs, I'd say, okay, let's see where he's at. But the fact that he came back and couldn't get through a game, that to me is the real concern. It's like a goalie, Jason, when they come back from a hip strain or a groin strain, and you see them stretch out that first time and they're right back to where they started. I hope Trent's not there, but that would be my concern.
Greg, it's going to be fascinating, man. We can't wait. We'll break down the first few games of each series with you next Friday. Have an awesome Easter.
Yeah, you too, Jason. Thank you.
That's Craig Button from TSN. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get your thoughts. You can call us 833-401-1440 or text us 833-401-1440. What excites you? What concerns you about the series? And where do you play Evander Kane? 833-401-1440.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Oodle Noodle Origin.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his
There's some eyebrows raised. Wait, don't you think when your eyebrows are lowered,
met a cocksure young man
brown?
named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle. You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a brick store near you.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring tandem and single axle trucks, including box and hoists, diggers, decks, day cabs and tractors, man lifts, pickers, plows, refuse bodies, and van bodies. Info at maauctions.com.
Take the pain out of airport parking with Park to Go. Your first-class parking experience. Book self-serve and valet parking and save up to 30%. Book now with promo code RADIO. That's RADIO.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring a complete dispersal of our Batke Oilfield Limited, including 2013 Kenworth W900 tractor and 2001 Kenworth W900 gravel truck. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. The pizza makers at Papa John's are making you 2 or more items for $9.99 each from their Papa Pairings menu, like medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, cheese sticks, and more. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A lovely Thursday afternoon. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Also, hey, big shout out to the pride of Drayton Valley, Clay Stevenson. He's going to get his first start in the NHL tonight. It's a big moment, man. So Uncle Eric and everybody else out there probably pretty fired up to, see someone in their family fulfill the dream and get into the NHL. That is, man, that's put in all those hours. It's pretty sweet. So he's, and guess what? It's his first NHL game, his first NHL start. You're going up against Sidney Crosby. And is Malkin playing? Yeah, Malkin's playing, Crosby's playing. So that's a pretty big thrill, I would think. And oh, by the way, you're playing with the greatest goal scorer of all time. So imagine that. Hey, so when you played your first NHL game, do you remember who was in the game? Yeah, Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. And people are like, get out of here. They probably wouldn't even believe you. So yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. That would be awesome. Awesome. So go to Clay. Doing all right so far in that game as they are tied 1-1. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. If you're looking for great wages with a fantastic company, or you get a hiring bonus, you will also get matching RSPs, tuition reimbursement, and you work for a great company that loves sports. It's legacyheating.ca. It's Cam Tate, who, of course, joins us usually every Monday and Friday, but we're off. So we got a special Thursday with Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, in a wheelchair, has cerebral palsy. And has not been able to be on the radio until the wonders of technology brings Cam's words to life in the 2-minute warning.
There were some eyebrows raised. Wait, don't you think when your eyebrows are lowered, you would frown, right? Not looking up looks more of a bewildered look and kind of gleeful look. So why do we say eyebrows raised? Okay, sorry. Okay. Let's say eyebrows lowered Wednesday when word surfaced the French leaders debate. We're having an election, you know. Change time so people could watch the Montreal Canadiens and Carolina Hurricanes. It proved, I think, something we already know. Hockey, it's pretty big in this country, isn't it? The leaders' debate generated memories of how my mother first always the hockey schedule before she sent out Easter dinner invitations. Brother Brad, a sturdy D-man, played minor hockey in the West End. Midget and bantam for the Canadian Athletic Club. Thanks to Brad, our family were on the edge of our Jasper Place arena. Oops, sorry, Bill Hunter Arena. Seats for many playoff games. And Easter Sunday, games were scheduled for all day. Mom organized Easter dinner before or after Brad's game. It carried on 30 years later when I was covering the Alberta Junior Hockey League playoffs. My wife, God rest her soul, planned our Easter dinner around playoff games. In fact, one of the great memories I have is Sunday afternoon Easter dinner at our son's and my ride picking me up, just as I had the final bite of dessert to go to a Game 7 in Camrose to cover the hometown Kodiaks and Fort McMurray Oil Barons. Easter and playoff hockey, they go together, don't they, Gregor? And Easter is a time of hope, isn't it, Connor Halley? A time of new beginnings, new things. And for the Edmonton Oilers, this Easter, let's hang on to that. Happy Easter. 2 minutes. Warning Tater. Gregor Show. Sports 1440.
Yeah, well, many of you, this seems to be a later Easter, though. I don't recall Easter coming in on the 20th of April very often. I know it moves around, and maybe it has in my life. I just don't remember it, but it seems a little bit later than normal. Either way, hopefully you have, I know tomorrow, of course, Good Friday. Then you've got Easter Sunday. The Easter Bunny comes wheeling around, hopefully delivering a few treats for you if you're so lucky. Now, we asked the question, what excites you? What makes you nervous about the Oilers? Kings. Guys, I think you've covered a lot of it, but I'm going to say my one concern is how quiet Zach Hyman was down the stretch. Do you think his injury is more severe than they are letting on? From Dan. Well, what's interesting about Hyman went where he had 5 goals in 4 games, and then he went goalless in 6, and then in that 7th game he left and hasn't played since. So it's a fair point. to wonder, how serious it is. Now, I did see Zach and spoke to him briefly, and he told me he was feeling fine. And they just, you know what? Yeah, you had an opportunity to rest, so they did. And we'll see. Because Hyman, remember how many goals Zach Hyman had last year in the first round against the LA Kings? How about 7? The year before, Evander Kane, 7. The Oilers have had some, they needed big guys. Obviously, you have Draisaitl. Obviously, you have McDavid. Draisaitl had 11 points last year in the first round. That's in 5 games. McDavid had 14 points in the first series when they played head-to-head. So their big guns have always showed up. But you need other guys. And you're going to need someone to produce big again. And then, of course, defensively. And to me, the key for Edmonton, Skinner's going to have to be sharp. I don't think he might have to win you 1 game. But I think if the Oilers are expecting their goalie to win in multiple games, it probably means they're not playing well enough. That's how I would view it. So, hey, boys, the only interesting thing I can find Carolina, New Jersey is that Taylor Hall's playing against the team he won the Hart with. Tissue paper thin reason, but it is a reason from Hampton Steve. Well, Steve, I like your dedication to trying to find one. I like it. It's good. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, didn't LA, weren't they second or first in goals against last year? Didn't say them. I think this year is closer than last year, but the Oilers are very capable of winning this series. From Jeff, and you are right, Jeff. And you know who else? Like, I know and it's all you can go off of is the regular season, so I understand it. But last season, you look at goals against this year. You have Winnipeg 1, and the LA Kings are number 2. You know who is the Jets were number 1, they were tied for number 1 with Florida, and then LA was number 3. Winnipeg and LA got torched quickly. 5 games, both were out. So what you do in the regular season, it matters, but now it's a completely different series. Like, look at Boston. Boston led the league in goals against in 2023, lost in the first round. Like, it's kind of funny. I might have to go look. And when was the last time? Now, Carolina in 2022, did they lose out in the first round too? That'd be unreal. That's 4 years in a row. One of the teams that was first in the NHL in goals against got knocked out in the first round. So, obviously, LA, that's their bread and butter. But if I'm the Kings, I don't believe that you can say, hey, for 6 or 7 games, we're going to win by allowing 2 goals a game every night against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I just don't think it's realistic. So that they have to find a way to say, we're going to have to win a game 4-3 at some point. We can't just win low-scoring games because eventually the Oilers are going to score. Edmonton scores, right? Even this year, despite all their injuries, the Oilers are still a good offensive team. Even despite missing a lot of their guys, they're still a top 10 team in offense. And because if you look at it over the last 4 years, when you have the core, you know who's the highest scoring team in the NHL? The Edmonton Oilers. And for me, it is hard to look in a series and say, you know what? We got these guys. We can slow them down. Now, maybe it'll happen. But usually, like even when Colorado beat Edmonton, it wasn't because they stopped Edmonton from scoring. They just outscored them. And can LA outscore Edmonton? It's a fantastic question. I don't know. Hey, guys, what's your thoughts on Jeff Skinner? I know it sounds strange, but I'm concerned that he's never played in the postseason. 15 years in, is he not going to know how to handle it? Well, 15 years in, you would think that, now there's still going to be nerves because it's your first time in the postseason, no question. But how much? That I don't know. But it'll be, it will be, I don't think nervousness will be there, but is he going to be able to adapt to how different the game is? Because make no mistake, it's very different. Quicker, more physical. How's he going to do it? So it's not a concern for me. It's more a curiosity. Because if Jeff Skinner has a few, because Connor McDavid's going to produce regardless of who his left winger is. It's just he'll be able to produce more if that left winger chips in. And I'm sure they'll give Skinner a few games, but it's the playoffs. You're not going to be able to wait 3 or 4. Probably get 2. And if not, then someone else is going to get an opportunity there. Come back. We got a lot of other good texts to get to. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Zesty Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Mango Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Papa John's, you get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, check out the Papa Pairings menu to save. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring tandem and single axle trucks, including box and hoists, diggers, decks, day cabs and tractors, man lifts, pickers, plows, refuse bodies, and van bodies. Info at maauctions.com.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Missioner Allen Auction's public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring a complete dispersal of Arbatke Oilfield Limited, including 2013 Kenworth W900 tractor and 2001 Kenworth W900 gravel truck. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, hey, young Clay Stevenson from Drayton Valley keeping his Capitals in it. They get outshot 13-5, but it's he made some big saves. So, attaboy, the Stevenson clan in Drayton Valley today watching. Well, I would hope his parents got to the game. That would be pretty awesome if they were able to get there. But other family members, I'm sure, are crowding around the TV somewhere watching it together. Pretty big thrill. See someone in your family play their first game in the NHL. So good for them. Lots of other texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, my concerns are how the special teams do, because special teams are a big reason why they made the finals, and the other concern is not having Ekholm. Huge loss from JC. Well, totally valid on Ekholm. Even though he wasn't having the best year, it's still a big loss. And so, Nurse was going to have to be good anyway. It's really like Jake Wallman. Jake Wallman's going to have to be solid for the Oilers. And Nurse, Bouchard, I will not be surprised, and both are capable of it. When this series is over, I bet you they're both averaging 25, 26 minutes. Now, if you get into overtime a few games, well, then that could change it and be even more. But let's just assume, without overtime that, we could see that. So it'll kind of be interesting to me to see what goes on there. But as for the special teams, Edmonton has been very good on their special teams all the time in the playoffs. And like when you go 45% over 18 games, it's not just a fluke. So until LA shows that they can slow down the Oilers' power play, and I know that they're more aggressive, I understand it, but you think they're the first penalty kill that's being aggressive on the Oilers? Usually Edmonton figures it out. Usually. Not always. Like, you're going to have a series where maybe you don't. But I think they got a lot of confidence, especially on their power play. And if they score a power play goal, in game one and it just, go 1 for 3 and now you're 33% again, they're just like, oh my God, here we go again. That to me is big news. Hey, fellas, what do you think of Cam Dineen? Think he could play from Alley? Well, if you look at the makeup, and I guess it comes down to, are they going to play Stetcher with Nurse and Bouchard with Wallman, or, and then Kulak with Emberson, and then mix and match, which is kind of like, I think at the end of the night, Stetcher and Emberson are 12, 13 minutes guys with half of their minutes together. And then the rest will be split with Nurse and Kulak and other guys. Now, if there's a lot of special teams, which usually there isn't a ton in the postseason, but you never know. So what will happen is if they feel that Stetcher and Emberson, being both righties, they don't love Stetcher on his offside, then maybe you could see Cam Dineen in for a game. But I think like Ty Emberson had a dip. I think his game has started to climb back up here lately. And I'm not just talking the goals. It's more so his play with the puck. But I'll tell you, you score a few goals, you naturally get a little bit more confidence with the puck. And that's what you need from Emberson. Doesn't need to be Bouchard. He doesn't have to be like a great puck mover. He just needs to be an efficient puck mover and quick moving the puck. And if he does that, then I think he can be all right. Hey, guys, my concern is that odds will say LA eventually wins. The reason why, though, I think Edmonton will win is that they're better than a lot of skeptics think. Gregor, I'm curious if you think people are underrating Edmonton. Underrating is a good word. I'll say I think some are overrating the injuries, thinking that they're all going to impact them. And Ekholm is one. Ekholm is one is legit. But are the other ones really going to matter come playoff time? It's hard to say. Until we see them hurt, I'm going to assume they're healthy enough to be an impact. It's going to be great. Have a great long weekend. Enjoy Easter if you celebrate it. Hopefully the Easter Bunny shows up. On behalf of Connor Halley and Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Please don't drink and drive. Don't be inebriated. Get home safe. Let's get to the Conman Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Ewell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, you only think one place, EWEL.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Last night of regular season hockey in the NHL. After 20 minutes, Sabres lead the Flyers 3-1. Leafs and Wings tied at 1 apiece. Skylar Brindamore has his first ever goal in the NHL as the Canes trail the Sens 3-2. It's scoreless between the Rangers and the Lightning. Caps and Penguins tied at 1. And also scores between the Jackets and the Islanders. Tonight, 7:30, Kings hosting the Flames down in Los Angeles. Major League Baseball today, right now. Guardians trail the Orioles 4-2. Tigers up on the Orioles 3-0. Yankees and Rays tied at 1 apiece, and the Mets have a 4-0 lead over the Cards. Later tonight, you got the Angels and Texas Rangers meeting in Arlington. Earlier today, Diamondbacks knocked off the Marlins 6-4. It was the Pirates over the Nats 1-0. Mariners get past the Reds 11-7 in extras. Athletics beat up on the White Sox 8-0, and the Giants halted the Phillies 6-4. Blue Jays in action this weekend, taking on the Mariners in Toronto. Games you can hear on Sports 1440 Saturday, Sunday, radio feed only. In the WHL, Gavin McKenna and the Medicine Hat Tigers can wrap up their series against the Raiders out in PA tonight, leading 3 games to none. Puck drop in that one set for 7 o'clock. From the CFL, the Edmonton Elks adding American defensive lineman Tamari Fox, wide receiver Martha Martin, and offensive lineman Grant Smith and Mark Evans II. And earlier today at the Women's Hockey World Championship, Canada knocked off Japan 9-1. They'll meet Finland in the semifinals on Saturday. U.S. will take on the host Czechs in the other semis, with the gold medal and bronze medal game going on Sunday. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.